Tonight's guest is Dave Rogers, the Bigfoot Preacher.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. Oh, what a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the edge.
We're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
And here we are, live without a net.
Welcome, Mr. Bearded Jeff. How are you?
Changing things up. I'm good.
Is that like, what, 2 hours without shaving?
Yeah, I shaved this morning.
Yeah, I figured. Oh, okay. Anyhow, welcome, everybody. Welcome, Untoldians, to Untold Radio AM.
Live without a net where anything could happen.
Yes, it is time for episode 306.
That's crazy.
On this warm July evening.
Very warm.
And tonight we are heading into the deep woods with guest who's become well known in the Bigfoot community for doing things just a little different. Now, you've met him and I have not.
Yeah.
So,
looking forward to it.
he calls himself the Bigfoot Preacher. And for him, Sasquatch research isn't just about footprints and tree knocks or eyewitness encounters. It's about faith, purpose, and what he believes those experiences mean.
Yeah, looking forward to talking to him.
Yeah, so it should be an interesting conversation at the least. Looking forward to having Dave Rogers on.
Mm-hmm. From Arkansas, and by strange coincidence, I was in Arkansas all week working.
Yeah, that's what you told me. You told me
it's
that.
Really hot down there. It's hot here. It's even hotter down there.
How can it be hotter than it is here? Oh my God.
Pretty hot down there.
You feel like you're going to burst into flames.
Yeah. Yeah, it was toasty.
Yeah, and on Wednesday, it's even going to be hotter, and I have to, of course, work outside all day on Wednesday, which is just a joy.
Awesome. Lucky.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I like doing it, but it's just not in this kind of weather.
No.
It's a little nuts.
I had grand plans of doing yard work yesterday, but I stepped outside and said, nope. It's not fun working outside like this. Can't get anything done.
Yeah. Well, whether you're interested in Dave's journey or the Bigfoots or whatever, you definitely enjoy this show.
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot, so I just think it's time to tell people to get comfy, lock their doors, double check, make sure they're locked, lock your windows too.
Get your beverage of choice ready.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure it's just plain water.
Yes. Why do you always accuse me of that?
Is it? I don't know why. It's just fun. I like to.
It's water. Anoka City water.
You, I've got my delicious diet root beer. And so if I have to hit the burp button once in a while, I will.
It's not a cough button, it's a burp button.
It's a burp button for me. So yeah, definitely lock the doors, dim the lights. Don't forget to do that and stay tuned. And also he's known as Super Dave.
Yeah.
I always think of Super Dave Osborne.
Yep. He was something else, man. That guy was funny.
Yeah. I'll never forget those. But he had a bunch of cameo appearances on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, I never saw
Larry
that.
David's neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny.
That was a pretty good show. I need to watch it.
You've never watched Curb?
I've seen an episode or two, but I never really sat.
Oh, it's like 13 episodes or 13 seasons, I think.
Yeah. I hear
it's funny. If you like Seinfeld, you like the Curb. It's kind of the same thing. It's written backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I do everything, Jeff. Backwards.
No comment.
No comment. All right. Anyhow, let's. We're gonna have clips. We are gonna do audience trivia, but it's a short one.
Okay.
And let's give away an Untold Radio hat. So we have to do that. So right after Weird and Fast News, we're gonna do trivia.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, just give Jeff a big yes in the chat.
And make sure you have good internet and make sure you're live and not delayed.
Yes. So we don't have to wait for your answers.
You're right.
All right. Well, let's hit it with the news.
For some weird and fast news, let's do it.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
Fast and weird.
Fast and weird.
That was
super weird. Oh, I've been staring at a computer screen all day today. And I'm just like, I wanted to go on a bike ride. I did not want to write up weird and fast news, but I did.
Bike ride sounds
and
good.
Here it is.
Do more bike riding.
Jeff did all the photography.
Yes.
Personally.
Yep.
All right. Number one, scientists turn cockroaches into search and rescue cyborgs. There you go. Just what could happen here? Researchers have developed tiny driving suits, they call them, in electronic backpacks that allow cockroaches to crawl through spaces too small for humans or robots. The insects can squeeze through collapsed buildings while carrying sensors that search for survivors after earthquakes and disasters. It says instead of replacing rescue workers, the cyborg roaches could become living search tools, entering dangerous rubble where robots often get stuck. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that's just...
There's an endless supply of cockroaches, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, but what do they do? Keep them in a box, and each city has a box of cockroaches with these little the cockroach suits on them? I don't know. It's just...
I'm sure there's a cockroach wrangler at every city.
Cockroach wrangler. Well, I don't think we have to worry about earthquakes here, do we?
No.
No, hopefully
not.
All right. Then what do we got next here? We have the Milky Way may be much bigger than we thought. Astronomers have discovered evidence suggesting our Milky Way galaxy may actually be larger, heavier, and more lopsided than previously estimates that indicated. Now, I do not want to live in a lopsided galaxy. Do you?
Not really.
No. I want it symmetrical.
Yeah.
The findings could change how scientists calculate the galaxy's mass and how it interacts with nearby galaxies. I don't want our galaxy interacting with other galaxies.
It does.
I don't want it to.
We're a ways away from that, but yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah, well, and you know, the takeaway here is
what
we think we know everything and we don't. That's been quote settled science for a long time.
Yeah, you're right. You got a point
so
there.
when anyone ever says the science is settled about anything, science is never settled. It's always evolving and changing and growing.
And the bearded one spouts great wisdom there. It's true.
It's the beard.
The beard. You look smarter, Jeff.
I look wiser.
Wiser.
That is the truth. Science is never, ever, ever settled. And anyone that says so is lying to you.
It says this is going to potentially change our understanding of dark matter and the future collision between the Milky Way and the Andromeda galaxy. We don't want that to happen.
AKA M31 for those interested.
But to study that collision, NASA has built the Skyfall Mars helicopter.
Good segue.
Yeah. See how I did that? After incredible success of Ingenuity, NASA has started funding hardware for the next generation Mars helicopter called Skyfall. I don't think that's a good name for a helicopter.
No,
I wouldn't even get in a helicopter called Skyfall.
It doesn't seem like the
Think
smart
about
name.
it. That's like, it's a ridiculous name. That's the last thing you want to be in if you have to crash. I actually, a friend, a good friend of mine's wife was in a helicopter crash.
Oof.
Ugh, the horrors.
I've never been in a helicopter. I've been in just about everything else.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I have. I've ridden in a lot of helicopters.
Nope, never been in one.
Well, okay, when I was, this is how stupid I am. When I was 14, I saved my money for an entire summer so I could rent a helicopter.
Really?
Yes.
You're 14?
14. I saved
Wow.
up all summer so I could rent a helicopter for maybe, I think, an hour and a half.
Sure.
And me and my buddy went flying all around with a pilot,
awesome.
of course.
Right.
We had a pilot. But yeah, that's a
pretty
true
cool.
story.
I've never been in one. I'd like to check one out someday.
Yeah, well, save your money.
I'll work on it.
Next, tiny satellites could detect nuclear weapons in space. Oh, hold on here. I didn't even talk about Skyfall. Back the truck up. Go back to the Skyfall. I didn't even say what the hell the news article was. I went off in dreamland. Future helicopters could scout ahead for astronauts, search for caves, signs of ancient life, and dramatically expand the amount of Martian terrain scientists can study. Yes, a little better than that. What, that Mars rover that's covered what? A couple of blocks in how many years?
That's incredible, though. That's what's the name of that rover? It's incredible that it's lasted so long.
That's what it's called. That's incredible.
It's I'm blanking. It is pretty impressive. It's gone way beyond its design.
No, I realize, but it hasn't gone very far.
No, I mean, literally, it's been walking distance from where it landed. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, so this is a game changer, getting a drone up there like that.
Yeah, we need, but I thought there was no air, so how can they fly a helicopter?
There is air, just really thin.
Well, then still, how can you use a helicopter if it's so thin?
Really light helicopter with really big blades.
Okay. Then pay no attention to the picture that you're seeing then. Because that looks like a heavy helicopter with little blades.
Nope.
All right, next.
Next.
Tiny satellites could detect nuclear weapons in space. And I would think that would be a fear. You know, for any government to think, because they'd be putting up these little, putting weapons in space.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good thing. So scientists are developing shoebox-sized satellites capable of detecting the unique radiation signatures produced by nuclear explosions in space. Instead of relying on one large spacecraft, dozens of these inexpensive satellites could work together as a global detection network. If deployed, the system could provide rapid warning of space-based nuclear events while helping monitor compliance with international treaties. Obviously ban nuclear weapons in orbit.
Yep.
What could go wrong having a nuclear weapon in orbit?
Well, they actually tested one in orbit. It was, in the 60s, I want to say, but it was tested one in orbit, and yeah, it caused a lot of damage for a long time. That's why they had the treaty saying, don't do that anymore.
Don't do that. Listen to the bearded one. He knows. It's number 5. 6 giant space balls wash up on an Australian beach. And you just got back from Australia, right? You took this.
Just this morning.
It's a nice picture. Good job. Mm-hmm. I like the way you captured the sand on the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Beachgoers in Queensland, Australia, have stunned when 6 large metallic spheres suddenly washed ashore. Authorities quickly closed off the area, fearing there might be hazardous or even explosive stuff in these balls. But after investigation, the Australian Space Agency determined the mysterious objects were actually rocket pressure vessels. What the hell would those do to a rocket? What would these balls
probably
do?
Fuel tanks or something. Or probably for holding.
Well, they said they're rocket pressure vessels.
No.
Okay. From a spacecraft or launched vehicle that survived its fiery plunge back through Earth. Experts say the hollow tanks are built from an extremely heat-resistant material, probably titanium?
Most likely. Something like or an alloy of some sort, yeah. So they don't burn up.
Does titanium burn? I don't think so.
Really high. Titanium's very, very high heat.
Experts say the hollow tanks are built from extremely heat-resistant material, allowing them to survive re-entry. And they float across the ocean for weeks, even months, and eventually wash onto the beach where Jeff goes and photographs them.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of miles away, scientists warn that as the number of rocket launches continue to increase, strange pieces of crap, space crap. You've heard that term, right? Space crap.
I can't verify that.
No, space crap, like these space balls, could become a much more common sight around the world.
Space balls and space crap.
And Jeff will be on it. He will be there to photograph it. Number 6, giant.
6. No more space balls or space crap.
No, we're done with it. This is tree crap.
Tree balls.
Giant trees have a secret way to survive drought. Shh, secret. Scientists climbing some of the world's tallest trees discovered evidence that giant trees have hidden strategies for surviving extended droughts. Their research suggests trees can either alter how water moves through their trunks in ways scientists had never directly observed. The discovery could help researchers better predict which forests are most likely to survive future, here we go with the buzzword, climate change and prolonged dry conditions.
Well, and again, you think we know everything there is to know about trees? Nope.
Nope.
Science is always evolving. Always.
And you drew that art. That's good.
I did. Yeah.
That's amazing, Jeff. You have great art talent.
Busy weekend.
Oh, it's tough. And while you're driving or flying back from
I spent 6 hours in the Atlanta airport Friday. That's when I did that.
Oh, they brought you through that?
Flight was delayed. Yeah, I had a 3-hour layover. Then the flight was delayed 3 hours. So I spent 6 hours.
You heard that. Even the devil has to fly through Atlanta.
It's actually not a bad airport, but
oh my God, there was one time I had to go to Atlanta alone. I hate flying alone, and so I overslept. And I get up, and it's like 10 minutes to my flight. You know how far the airport is.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, I better try. And I got in my car and I zoomed down to the airport. And I believe it or not, the plane was late, and I made it on the plane.
Oh, lucky.
There. 10 minutes before my flight, I woke up.
Yuck.
I made it to Atlanta for my business meeting. But that airport is huge, man.
Yeah, it's a massive airport.
Oh.
And then Monday I was in Chicago airport. So I was in 2 of the biggest airports in the country last week.
What are the 2 airports in Chicago? I can't think. Oh,
O'Hare.
And what's the other one?
I can't remember the other one.
Some field.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But O'Hare's the big one.
I had to panhandle one time to get from O'Hare to the other airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I got robbed on my trip. So I didn't have I had no money, I had no credit cards, I had nothing.
Oh, that's awful.
So I had to panhandle. I had to panhandle in Turkey to get my airfare just to get back to Moscow.
Wow.
And somebody helped me from South Africa.
That's amazing.
Yeah. See? Have you ever had to panhandle? It's not.
No, never been.
Fun. It is not a fun
that.
position to be in.
No.
All right. Number 8. Astronomers rediscover a silent pulsar.
No, you skipped one.
I did. Oh, geez. Did I ever? Number 7. Scientists hunt for DNA of every living species. You're going to have to donate a little bit of your beard, Jeff. Researchers with the Tree of Life Project are working towards one of biology's biggest goals, sequencing the DNA of every known species. No, it says on Earth, but do I need to say that? Do I really need to say on Earth?
For now.
Every known species. One recent focus is the nearly indestructible tardigrade water bears, whose remarkable survival abilities continue to amaze scientists. Now, Jeff has got, I swear to God, he's admitted this, he's got 2 or 3 water bears living in his beard.
I do.
Yes.
They have a little condo. Right in my chin.
They're hanging on for survival. So it says here, whoops, I'm going to put a quarter in the jar.
What the heck kind of...
I know, I forgot.
Son of
I forgot. We have another quarter. What's one more? Understanding how tardigrades survive freezing, radiation, dehydration in the vacuum of space and in Jeff's beard could someday lead to advances in medicine, biotechnology, and the long duration of space travel.
And more beards.
And yeah, well, those tardigrades, they say they make up like most of the life on Earth. Tardigrades do.
Yeah,
like
they're
what?
A strange little critter.
Yeah, you can't burn them, can't freeze them, you can't cook them, you can't eat them, you can't anything with them.
Damn near indestructible.
Yeah. Next, astronomers rediscover a silent pulsar. Well, how can it be a pulsar if it's silent? After decades of silence, astronomers have detected radio signals coming from the mysterious blue eye pulsar. Pulsars are rapidly spinning neutron stars that act like giant cosmic lighthouses, sending beams of radio waves across space. The unexpected return of these signals gives astronomers a rare opportunity to study why some beards suddenly switch back. Why some pulsars suddenly switch back on, potentially revealing new clues about some of the most extreme objects in the universe. By the way, I could grow a beard. It would take me about 20 years to get to that level that you got to in probably 2 days.
This is actually about a week and a half. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, well, it would be like 40 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see here. That's it for the weird and slow news.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of slow, wasn't it? And it wasn't that weird either, was it?
Kind of weird.
I think we should change the title to sort of weird and sort of fast
weird,
news.
Mostly fast.
Mostly fast.
Half fast.
All right. Did anybody want to play audience trivia? This is not a contest. It is not something you're going to win. You're not going to win an Untold Radio ad, but I probably will just mail one, no charge. I'll just forget to put the invoice in the package. That's how it works. It'll be an accidental hat.
Not a contest.
Not
That's
a
the important
contest.
part.
Nope.
So I need a couple of volunteers. How about we play a little bumper and give everybody a minute to...
Well, we got one.
Saga.
Okay, all right, you guys. All right. So I was going.
We're gonna call that Saga, whoever that is.
Matt,
Saga.
are you volunteering or is that a yep? I said to say yes, not yep.
Matt. So we got Saga.
Big difference between yep and yes, isn't there,
Saga
Jeff?
And
Jeff,
Matt.
Should we disqualify Matt because he said yep?
Diane. I'm trying to do my job here, man.
Oh my
So we got
God.
Saga, Matt, and Diane. Welcome to the trivia contest. It isn't a contest.
Yeah. So if you have what are you gonna? Yeah, play your bumper. Play your bumper. We'll be right back.
All right. I like playing the bumpers.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Audience Trivia. Who wants to play?
Did you draw those question marks?
Yeah.
Just say yes to everything I
Sure.
ask you. Just automatically. No matter what I ask you, just say yes.
Yes,
Yes. All right. You guys are ready. Now, how do we want to do this? Just the right answer. You got it's there. Yeah. Just put a letter in. Well, the trivia is on the boreal forest trivia. How well do you know your trees in U.S. and Canada? So it includes only those two countries. Approximately what percentage of Canada's landmass is covered by a boreal forest? Is it A, 18%, B, 34%, or C, 60%, or D, 85%? So is it A, 18, B, 34, C, 60, or D, 85? Jeff, you got to score all this stuff. I'm not even going to look.
Okay. So.
Saga says C.
And then
Vincent
Saga
changed
said
it to D. You can't.
Okay, so that's an immediate fail.
That's a fail.
That's a fail.
You can't
Sorry,
do-
no changing your answer. Diane said C, and then Matt said B. Well, Diane is right. So 1 point for Diane. Saga was right, but you changed your answer. So
Don't do that.
So 1 point for Diane.
See, we can make up the rules as we go.
It's not a contest. There's no rules.
There are no rules.
Not a contest. No prizes.
No, the bearded one makes them up as we go.
Totally arbitrary.
Question number two. Which U.S. state contains the largest portion of America's boreal forest? Is it A, Minnesota? Yay. B, Maine, C, Alaska, or D, Montana? Minnesota, A, B, Maine, C, Alaska, or D for Doug, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta play. Do you have that? Where's your music? What the hell?
Well,
You don't have to.
do like-
If you don't
I
have it
only do
ready,
three
that's
things at
just
once.
fine. That's just the failure of the director.
oh my God.
That's it's a complete failure.
So let's see here.
The bearded one has failed to play the trivia music.
I'm trying to keep track of who's scoring.
That's fine. I'm just joking. You don't
All
have to
right,
play the
well,
I hate that music anyhow.
Saga is the only one that is correct. Was C, Alaska.
All right. So we got Saga now with one.
You know,
right?
if it just occurred to me, if we should have a trivia team, and the name of the team can be the Fighting Tardigrades.
We have the Fighting Tardigrades. Sounds like a song hook.
Fighting Tardigrades.
Yeah.
Water bears.
All right. So you're keeping track. I'm not.
I am.
So don't depend on me. I'm just having fun reading the questions.
I'm just having fun doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood
And these
today.
questions literally fell out of Jeff's beard this morning and landed on the paper. All right. Question 3. Which of these animals is considered one of the signature mammals of North America, the North American boreal forest? Is it A, the mountain lion, B, the woodland caribou, C, desert bighorn sheep, or D, pronghorn antelope? So A, mountain lion, B, woodland caribou, C, desert bighorn sheep, or D, the pronghorn antelope. And the question is, which of those animals is considered one of, so it could be a trick question, of the signature mammals of the North American boreal forest?
All right.
And
So Saga said B. We're waiting on Matt and Diane.
so who got it?
Diane said B. Waiting on Matt for an answer.
I am Virak said B, right?
And Matt said D. Well, sorry, Matt, you were wrong. It is B. So a point for Saga and a point for Diane.
What about Virax? Oh, he's not playing.
Not playing. I got Saga, Matt, and Diane. Those are the first three that I wrote down here.
I'm not even watching the right people. Loretta got it
Not a contest.
right. Yeah, Loretta got it right. Matt, you got it wrong. Virax got it right. Says Saga got it right. All right, number 4. Roughly how much of the world's remaining intact boreal forest is found in Canada? Is it A, 18%, B, 35%, C, 28%, or D, 52%? And the question is roughly how much of the world's, so you take the whole world's remaining intact boreal forest is found in Canada. So what percentage is in Canada of all the forests? 18, 35, 28, or 52?
Matt said A. I can't remember. What's the difference between boreal and arboreal? I can't remember. Somebody should know that. Saga said B. Diane said A. Well, they managed to all three have different answers and all three be wrong. That's impressive.
Oh, that is impressive. C.
28%.
Yeah, 28% of all of the forests in the entire world is in Canada. And that's why we like to go there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's Bigfoots up there.
Canadian.
All right. Canada. Which tree species is not commonly found growing naturally throughout the boreal forest? Is it A, black spruce? That's my favorite tree, by the way, in the world. B, tamarack larch. And C, paper birch. Or D, coastal redwood. Which one is not found growing naturally throughout the boreal forest? A, black spruce. B, tamarack, or they call it larch. C, paper birch, or D, coastal redwood. Which one is not part of the boreal forest? Not common.
All right.
You should hum the music, Jeff. Jeff, since you screwed up on the not
I
playing
didn't screw up anything. I did no such thing.
You should hum it. Scrape your beard on the microphone. Make the sound.
Okay, all right, Matt. Let's see here.
Kind of
Matt said D. Da, 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 da. All right, Saga said D and Diane B. The answer is D.
D. The coastal
redwood.
Redwood is not.
So who said that right? Saga said that right. So right now Saga is in the lead with 3 points, 2 for Diane and none for Matt.
But other honorable mentions, even though they're not in the contest,
Lots of people got it right.
is John Phileas got it
It's not a
right.
contest, Doug. Come on.
Texas Bigfoot Ranger. I know who that is. D got it right. Kenny Hess got it right. I Am a Passenger Princess got it right. But the only one that counts is Saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one that got it right, or he?
Saga got it right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
One more.
One more. And we don't have a tie, right? Who's winning?
Nope. It could possibly be a tie. It's 3. Saga got 3, Diane got 2, Matt got none.
I got a bonus question up my sleeve, so we're okay if we have a tie.
Yeah,
Why?
even though it's not a contest. It's important to know.
Exactly, it's not.
Have we mentioned that? I can't remember if we mentioned that, but we should
And
mention
this is
that.
for a brand new Untold Radio AM hat.
Not really.
We got to get some unverified crap hats.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I'd even wear one of them. Why do many scientists call the boreal forest the Earth's northern lungs? Why do many scientists call the boreal forest the Earth's northern lungs? A, it produces more oxygen than the Amazon. B, it receives the most rainfall on Earth. C, it stores enormous amounts of carbon in its trees, peatlands, and soils, helping regulate Earth's climate. Or D, it has the greatest number of tree species on the planet. So is it A, B, C, or D? And I'm not repeating those damn answers because they're just too damn long. That's just the way it's going to be.
Good luck.
So take a guess if you didn't hear my answers. Then
Good thing it's on.
guess A, B, C, or D.
Saga said A. And Matt said C.
Minxie says, I want an unverified crap T-shirt.
Well, go and order one. Go to Hanger One.
Are they
They're
there
available.
Now? Are they
Yep.
available? Oh,
Yep,
they're available.
I actually ordered a couple for my mom and dad.
You can just go to the what is it? The Hanger One website.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Hanger One.
There's a store too in YouTube,
Mhm.
but it's
Go to Hanger
weird.
One.
Sometimes they put it up, sometimes they don't. I don't get it. I don't. But go to the Hanger One Publishing website, and you can buy your unverified crap T-shirt, or you can wait someday and might be able to
Well, it looks
not win
like
one in a contest.
Matt is on the board. Matt is correct.
Matt, congratulations, Matt.
It
Winning
stores
for-
enormous amounts of carbon in its trees, peatlands, and soils, helping regulate Earth's climate. So, Matt. So it's 3-2-1. So
Yep.
the non-winner of this non-contest, because it's not a contest, is Saga. So I am typing my
So, Saga,
address.
you didn't win a Untold Radio AM black hat that's embroidered. Did not win it, but we will mail you one accidentally.
just accidentally. So Saga, please email me your real name and mailing address. I'll keep that private, of course, but I need your real name and mailing address, and we won't send you anything because it wasn't a contest.
No. Well, we will send you something, but you won't win it.
Right.
It'll just go in the mail. I will accidentally forget to put the invoice in there.
It's a total mistake. I build it to
Total
another.
mistake.
I build it to a Nigerian prince.
Yes. Ooh. All right. And then a weird bonus, just a fact, since we didn't have a tie. The Canadian boreal forest stretches nearly 3,500 miles. That's 5,600 kilometers for any Europeans, from Newfoundland to the Yukon, making it the largest continuous forest on Earth. It stores more carbon than any other terrestrial ecosystem, with past vast peat bogs holding carbon that it has accumulated for over thousands of years. It's become the home to wolves, lynx, moose, black bears, grizzlies, and wolverines, and billions of migratory birds every spring. It says it's one of the wildest and least fragmented forests left on the planet. Very cool.
Can't verify that though.
No, I can't verify anything. Let's do some, is it fake as funk or something like that? What's it called?
Is it fake as funk?
I think it's funk.
It is funk. Almost had another word.
The bearded
Right.
one knows.
So we should do that now. Is that what you're saying? Right
Yes, we should
Now?
do that
now?
now.
What now? Now?
Okay,
Okay.
now.
Is it BS, fake as funk? Have we been punked? Punked, punked. Is it BS, fake as funk? Have we been punked? Punked, punked, punked.
All right. And after this, we're gonna do this, just 2 clips. Then we're gonna do just 5 clips of my clip picks, and then we are going to bring on
Super
Dave Rogers.
AKA
He's
Super Dave.
They have the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot Preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I am excited to bring him on. I see him in the green room. All right, clip 1. Clip 1 FF. You notice the FF serial number on there.
Mm-hmm.
Sound is good. Are these real UAPs, drones, balloons? Are they fake, or is it just misidentified?
Fake as funk.
Or just leave your, put your comments in chat, put them in the comments. If you're watching this, if you're not catching the live show, put them in the comments. But I do want your opinion. It's
not a
cool.
contest.
It's a cool clip. Yes, no, it's not. Go ahead and play it.
What's happening? Super jumping?
The moon's there, but there are these things that are just standing. I mean, they're moving a little bit, but I have no idea what this is.
It's similar to the experience.
Drones, I'm going to guess,
that
but
we
I
had,
don't
Jeff.
know.
Maybe that dude wasn't lying when he said the world was ending.
Can you send it to me?
All right, that's enough.
That's odd.
Yeah. So what are they? Are they orbs? Are they just balloons? I mean, what
I'm going
would
to
you
go with
think?
there's something actually in the sky, but it's not necessarily anything too terribly exotic. Never know.
Like, what do you think it
I don't know.
is?
Could be balloons, could be drones. Who knows?
Or
I don't
could be living creatures
Could
that
be.
are round without arms or legs called
You never know.
orbs.
Can't confirm that. Can't verify
Oh, I
that.
can't confirm anything. Clip 2, sound is fine. This is another one of these clips that people are getting a lot of this stuff, especially with the new low light cameras that are coming out. Is this fake as funk or is this real?
My
What is it?
gosh, look at them all. This is crazy. It is August, it's April 19th, Sunday, April 19th. So beautiful, my friends.
I always go by the audio.
Incredible.
Jeff.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't, I mean, the audio sounds very sincere. It doesn't sound like somebody trying to hoax anybody. The one thing you can tell with AI, it does the worst, stiffest audio.
mm-hmm.
You can tell right away. So, no, it's not that.
That is odd.
Yeah, it's odd. Seen this kind of stuff myself. All right, that's it. So, what do you think? What do you think, Jeff?
It's odd. I don't know what that could be. That's. I mean, I don't know. Without any.
Well, is it fake or do you think it's real? That's okay. Let's just go there first. Fake or real?
There's no evidence that it's real. I mean, there's no real. I don't know. It doesn't look that compelling to me. It just looks odd.
Just like lights. If you saw it, you would just say it looked odd.
Well, if I saw it, then I would know at least something in the sky. But I didn't see it, so I can't confirm it. I can't verify that.
All right.
How about you? What do you think?
I think it's a real clip. I've seen stuff like that myself. I don't know what it would be. You know, I don't have an orb in my pocket, but I've seen these glowing balls of different colors. I don't know what they are. No idea.
It's odd, that's for sure.
Yeah. Clip 1. Let's do my picks quick. We only have 6 of them. We'll get through them
All
really
right.
quick.
Well, we have to play the bumper first.
Yes, please.
Hey, look at that. There I am.
There you are, the bearded one. All to him. You get them all to yourself. All right, clip 1. Sound is good.
Well, listen to this story. A Lockheed Martin DARPA engineer also worked at NASA, Richard Bandurek.
Stop it right there, Jeff. Just pause it. I was going to talk about this for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is about UFO. They call it UFO dust particles, but they've named them smart particles. I've never even heard that term, smart particles. But apparently they're studying these small smart particles, and they're going to talk about what they are real quick, and the way they react and so on. So go ahead and play it now.
Is this kind of like the ones that the early astronauts reported? I know Mercury programming reported that.
No, well, they have these. I mean, apparently they can find them quite quickly.
Oh, really?
But go ahead and play
Claims.
this.
Now, this video is from late 2024, but just resurfaced on X. It didn't get really any attention at all when it first aired, according at least what I saw. Now it's been going viral. So is this guy credible or is he full of shit? Here's his statement.
I wish you would have said
Trillions
crap.
of UFO particles are sort of scattered across Earth, extraterrestrial particles across Earth. They've been studying them for years, he says, and these materials can cloak themselves, they can reassemble themselves, and they can self-destruct themselves. And he says they're intelligent life forms on top of that, not of this Earth. So listen to his audio here of this scientist, Richard Bandurek. Watch.
Very well. So then you could collect them every once in a while and then try to analyze them. You could do things like split them apart They would attempt to find each other or reconfigure. Some of the experiments they did was we took one of those and we put it on a very hot surface of about 3,000 degrees. And what it would do is it cooled the surface around itself. And then when we took the device off and then waited again, we would find that the mass would be reduced by a certain amount.
Do these feel like program materials to you, Richard?
Yeah, they were, like I was saying, they're more intelligent materials. Like these subunits probably had computational functionality, right? Because they knew what their neighbors were all about, and they knew they could reprogram themselves to be something different, right? If they needed to change themselves. So these are really curious types of materials. So that's how we could kind of tell they were extraterrestrial, because these things were like decades ahead of us. They were probably hundreds of years ahead of us.
Hundreds of years ahead of us.
There you go.
Cole Hart, a UFO researcher.
That's enough. That's enough. Interesting, though, right?
Yeah.
Smart particles. You heard it here first. Clip 2. Sound is good. This is chimps using iPhones. Go ahead.
Oh, what could go wrong there?
What could go wrong? They certainly seem like they know what they're doing. Scrolling through the shots to watch.
Checking out what everybody Tarzan's doing.
Man, that's crazy.
You'll pick another clip of and then these are. Oh, this one's interesting. I'll watch this one. No, not that one.
What's he been up to? Hanging out with girls on the beach? Oh, touching snakes. That's always dangerous.
Nope, don't like that one.
He
That's
doesn't
crazy.
like that one.
Oh, that's you.
He's got the chimp's got the same look on his face as kids have. Go ahead, that's enough. We got it.
Wow, that's crazy.
The same stare. To not give your kid an iPhone or to give your kid an iPhone, that is a personal decision. I've seen it both ways. My grandkids aren't allowed to even look at an iPhone.
I think that's wise.
Or an iPad, and they are just the calmest, coolest kids ever. But
I'm glad we grew up without that. I really am.
So I don't know. It's hard to know. But then I also see, a nephew and niece that constantly use them. One's 5 years old and he's got a YouTube channel already. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Clip 3. The sound is good. This is another one of these weird clips. This is comes from Jim Kern. He's using my favorite camera, the Sony A7 low light, because it's got an ISO that goes up to like 500,000 and beyond.
Oh, geez, really?
So you can just get down. You can see things your naked eye cannot see.
Yeah, that's a lot of light.
So here you go. Here's a little film sequence from that camera. Go ahead and watch it. This is what's going on in the skies that you cannot see. Not a satellite because it's on this side of the...
Going way too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, they're too fast, and they're all going different directions. And well, what are they? My theory. I have a theory. I don't know if it's right, but I think they're living creatures that live in their kind of upper part of space and the ecosystem that goes from the ground to 300 miles up that we've never studied. It's like an ecosystem.
It is, and it's a huge space. I mean, by volume, it's just a massive, massive, massive space.
Yep, I pitched a documentary called Space Peace, basically about things like this, because there's so many recordings of weird things in the sky, and that look biological. They don't really necessarily, a lot of round ones, but there's a lot of other ones that aren't round. They look like insects or ocean creatures.
Yeah.
And they're zooming around all over out there. All right, enough of that.
That crap.
You ever see? Yes, enough of that crap. You ever seen an unstriped zebra? This zebra has no Z.
Wow.
They're like, what the heck?
It doesn't look like it doesn't look albino. It looks.
He has no Z.
No stripes.
No Z.
That's odd.
Yeah. All right. Clip 5. Sound is good. We've all seen these next creatures, but this will tell you a little more about them, what they are exactly. And I always knew the name, but I didn't necessarily know the history of these little dudes. I bet you've seen these before. Silverfish.
Ever seen this thing sprint across your books?
They're tiny.
That tiny creature was here before the dinosaurs, and it's still going strong. The silverfish has existed for over 400 million years. Zero changes. Evolution had nothing to fix. It eats paper, glue, basically anything containing starch or sugar, and can survive an entire year without food. When caught, its scales detach instantly, leaving predators holding nothing but shiny dust. Same trick. Still works. Survived every extinction on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, one
probably
lives
in all your
your
Sasquatch
home.
books, right?
It could be. Yeah, I've definitely had them in my house.
All right. So now you know a little more. Last clip. Sounds good. This is a pretty common bird, bitterns. I see them quite often, but I don't think I've ever even heard the gulp sound that they make. Go ahead and play this. That's a sound.
Weird.
That's a weird.
Very weird.
You've seen bitterns, haven't you?
Probably.
They're around. They look like a heron, kind of a brown heron without the long neck. Always on the shore, always up on a log, and so on. That was the first bird I learned when I was a kid, was the bitterns. My dad taught me that.
I don't remember seeing those, but my dad taught me a lot of birds. I don't remember seeing that one, though.
That was the first bird I learned the name of. All right. We'll take a quick ad break, and then we're going to bring on Dave.
Super Dave. All right. We will be right back.
Phantom Grizzly offers an insider's view into the hidden world of bears, brimming with revelatory insights from a lifetime devoted to understanding them. Come face to face with bears through the eyes of an expert striving to transform our relationship with nature's most awe-inspiring inhabitants. If you're ready to venture far beyond the ordinary, to glimpse the wonder of bears in a whole new light, then this powerful book is waiting. Phantom Grizzly launches the 3-book Bear Communicator series, chronicling Dr. Stephen Stringham's extraordinary journey from fearful encounters to becoming one of North America's foremost bear researchers. Get the entire Phantom Grizzly set with Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3 right now. Only from Hangar One Publishing and Amazon.
And then we'll talk about the New York Bigfoot conference coming up.
That's coming up October 2nd. October 3rd, I will be speaking there. If you want to meet me, poor people, I will be there. I'd love to meet you. And I think that there will be a lot of great speakers there. Darby Orcutt,
Yep.
Ken Gerhardt, Lauren Coleman, Dr. Maria Mayer, me, myself, and of course, the very famous Adam Davies will be there. And Steve Culls will be hosting the town hall. That's free to the public on October 2nd. So there's a little barcode there. Scan it and get your tickets, or just go to NewYorkBigfootConference.com. And that is hosted by Loretta Collins and Mark DeWorth. Yep. Mark puts on the giant Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Anyhow, they'll be great hosts. So,
yep.
Get you. I know it's a little early. You might think, it's a little early, but get them because they will sell out. That's why you need to get them early.
Get your hotel room lined up.
Yes.
The hotel will probably sell out before the tickets sell out. So,
yeah. And it's in, it's in Johnstown, Gloverville. So it's in a beautiful area. It's not near New York City. It's nowhere near anywhere that.
If you've never been to a Bigfoot conference, you definitely want to stay at the host hotel, just because there's fun things going on after hours. You want to be in the hotel.
Well, that's also where all of the speakers hang out, right? They go to the lounge.
There, so
you can meet people.
A lot of fun. Stay in that hotel.
Hang out. You can buy Ken Gerhardt a Coca-Cola.
Or an adult beverage.
Well, whatever. I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, let's
All
see.
right.
Let's get to Dave. Dave is also called Super Dave, aka Sasquatch. He's got a lot of names.
The Bigfoot Preacher.
The Bigfoot, yes, Bigfoot researcher. Does expeditions. He's an evangelist. He's a speaker. Known as the Bigfoot Preacher. Dave Rogers, better known as Super Dave, aka Sasquatch, has spent more than 52 years experiencing firsthand encounters with the unexplained. His journey began at age 11 with an encounter that changed his life forever. So for decades, he kept those experiences mostly private until recently stepping forward to publicly share what he's witnessed and learned. Today, Super Dave is becoming a well-known voice in the Bigfoot and cryptid world, recognized for his authenticity, field experience, bold faith, and powerful storytelling. He is a self-described knower. Dave believes Sasquatches, cryptids, and other unexplained entities are very real. And there's far more to this world than most people realize. So I'm going to leave it there, and let's introduce...
All right, let's disclaim him first. We have to disclaim everyone.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And for the record, I disclaim myself too.
Yeah, well, you should.
And we're all unverified.
You should. All right, well, let's welcome Dave Rogers.
Dave. And there he is. Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi. I thought that was maybe I could see it back there, but you were holding so still, Dave.
No, I'm just listening to you guys.
I was like, is that a banner of Dave or is that real Dave? You fooled me. I swear to God, I thought it was a banner. You've never seen somebody so still in my life. Anyhow, Dave, it's really nice to meet you. I wished I would have had a chance to talk to you before the show, but we'll get to know you now. So,
right.
So anyhow, I don't know. I mean, probably the way I'd like to start is to hear about what happened to you at 11. And what got you interested in this?
That was a crazy story. We lived in Saginaw, Arkansas is where it was at. And I think it was like population of 14. 9 was in our family. You know, it was a one-road town. That was it. We lived closer to the Ouachita River and what we call the Saginaw Eddy Bottoms. And we had the Ouachita River that come in there, and every afternoon when they let the dam out, the water would come up and it'd seep back up in the bayous and whatnot. So I was just a little country kid. You know, we grew up poor, you know, hunting, fish, trapped, you know, whatever I could do to make money for bullets, you know, and stuff like that. And trap. I mean, for my trap lines, all that kind of stuff. So I just hunt, fish, trap. My home wasn't really safe for me to be there, especially when my dad wasn't there. So that put me outside all the time, which was good. I can see it as a good thing now. So a lot led up to my first encounter. It was late November, October, when trap season opens here in Arkansas. So I'd run my little trap lines. My grandpa taught me how to make some trap bait. And what you did was in the spring, you caught, you know, small fish, whatnot, cut them up. You know, don't take the guts out of them, cut them up. As long as you can get them in a little pint mason jar, you're good. Just pack it full, twist the lid, bury it in the hole, and cover it up until fall. Well, this stuff was pretty ripe when you dug it up, to say the least. But it was good trap bait, and so I started my trap line, and I noticed that my traps were being something was sticking either sticks in them or ripping them up out of the ground. Or I'd have them chained to a log. The chain would be broke. So it was a lot that led up to this one encounter. You know, of course, back then we didn't know what a whoop was. We didn't know what a scream, you know, a tree knock, anything like that. And it was spring squirrel season. And I remember getting up that morning. It was Saturday morning. And I got up and had breakfast with my dad. He had to work on a Saturday. So I grabbed my my Zipco 33 and my little small tackle box with some lures in it and whatnot. And my single shot 22 rifle. And so after Dad left, I started heading down there. And I remember telling my dad a year prior to this, you know, hey, Dad, there's something down there making noise. And it sounds like something's hitting on some trees or something. And he tried to convince me that it was a bear. All it is a bear, son. But back then, we didn't have bears that south in Arkansas. We do now. There's plenty of bear down there now, but there wasn't bears back in then. So I wasn't convinced it was a bear. And but Dad was. And it wasn't until I found my first set of prints. There was only 2 of them coming up out of the bayou there. And they were 14 inches long. They were kind of narrow, 14 inches long, but they only had 3 toes, which I found very interesting. And I finally talked my dad into, you know, just pleading with him, you know, hey, come down here, look at this. This ain't no bear track. Come look. And finally he went with me, and he looked at it and he says, no, son, this ain't no bear. He said, you need to keep your butt out of the woods. Well, in that particular area, that was my best squirrel hunting spot and my best fishing hole, because it was a spring fed creek that run back in the bayou that the Ouachita River would come up, and it would always fill up with water. And that place there used to be able to catch them big hand-sized perch. So I wasn't giving up my fishing hole or my squirrel hunting spot. So when I got up that morning, Dad's left. He told me not to go back down there. He'd tear my butt up. I ended up getting my butt tore up over it. But when I left that morning, I went by the stove and grabbed a couple of biscuits that was left over from breakfast. And then, you know, being poor, we killed hogs every year, you know, so we didn't waste nothing on a hog. So you'd have the cracklings and the pork skin. So I grabbed some of those, stuffed them in my pocket, and out the door I went. But when I left the house, there's a big long set of woods over here to this side, and you got to go all the way across the pasture to get to the backside of the woods. And I remember that morning I had just, you know, I don't know if it's premonition or what, but I just had a bad feeling about that morning. But had my fishing pole, had my gun, and I just went on trucking across that pasture there. And I noticed that, you know, you could always hear like the crows. You could hear, you know, blue jays. We had a lot of blue jays down there, which I can't even remember the last time I saw any blue jays. But you'd hear the crows, you'd hear blue jays, mockingbirds. You know, squirrels would be barking at me coming across that field. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing.
It was just quiet.
Yeah, extremely quiet. I'd never heard the woods go that quiet like that before. Maybe a short period of time, you know, when I was out squirrel hunting, I felt, you know, that, you know, I could feel that there was something maybe watching me, that something wasn't right. But it was always over just pretty quick. And then the woods go back to normal. Of course, I didn't know back then, being a little kid, that was a sign that predators was in the vicinity. So when I got up to the fence, I kind of stopped right there, and I had to go through this barbed wire fence at the edge of the woods. And it was like, man, I don't know if I need to go back down there. I don't know. I just had a real uneasy feeling. And so I kind of stood there for a few minutes, and there wasn't nothing. You know, you could barely hear the wind blowing that morning. There's a little mist in the air. So I went ahead and put my gun down on the ground, my tackle box and stuff. I crawled through the fence and then picked them back up. And then I started stealthily walking through the woods, which there was a lot of pine trees. So there's pine needles on the ground. So you could sneak through the woods real quiet. And usually by halfway, I've already got 4 or 5 squirrels. And I ain't saw none. And so I sat down next to my back to a pine about halfway down there. And I just kind of sat there. And I just had this real uneasy feeling. And there wasn't the thing that I got, that I'll never forget about this encounter was the lack of noise in the woods. And so I ate a biscuit, some pork skins, and got back up, got over to where the creek is, because the creek ran right into that spot right there. When it ran into the bayou, that was the best place to fish. And so I started slipping down there. Well, 2 weeks earlier, there was a tornado come through there and knocked a bunch of big trees down. And one of my best big old oak trees fell over the creek. So on the other side was the tree, and on this side was nothing but the top heads of the tree. So I've got my head on a swivel. I'm looking back and forth, not like I normally do, because usually I go through the woods real quiet. And I'm looking with my eyes, but my head's on a swivel. And so when I got to that tree, I couldn't just go on down the bank. So I come off to my left and went around the big tops of that tree. And I'm looking, I see the river over, I see the bayou over here. I can hear the water running into the bayou. And I started coming up the other side of that tree. And it's kind of like a little embankment there. And I'm looking around, I'm looking in the tops of the tree. I thought I heard something in the top of the tree. So I'm looking over this way. And as I come up to the top, and I just went to look back straight, and there he was. He was standing in about knee-deep water. Excuse me. About knee-deep water. And his hand was doing like this in the water down here. His right hand was kind of fiddling with the water, twitching,
Really? Okay.
twitching it a little bit. And he just kind of, we saw each other basically about the same time. He was as startled as I was. So this wasn't, something that was, we planned to meet here at this time and such like that, because his mouth was open and so was mine. And then he looked like kind of like he smiled, but he was clicking his teeth real fast at me, just clicking his teeth at me real quick. And I couldn't see his eyes because his hair was hanging down the face. And he had like 6 inches of hair, black hair all over him. And it was kind of matted back here on the back of his arms and kind of like down his legs. But I'm focused right there on the head. And I could see that stuff in my peripheral vision. And he draw back and let out a scream. Now, this scream, guys, it went right through me. I mean, it vibrated everything inside of me. Of course, it vibrated my chest. I could literally feel that sound hitting me in the chest. And like I said, it vibrated everything inside of me. Of course, it hit my bladder. Being a young kid, that bladder cut loose. I didn't have no choice in that. And, I was petrified. Everything in my head was telling me to run, but my feet seemed to be cemented to the ground. It's kind of like, when you get in a gunfight, I don't know if you guys ever been in a gunfight or not, but it's like, kind of like combat. It just, everything just kind of just went into slow mode, and everything back here in my eyes just kind of darkened. And the only focus I had was on the target before me. And it's like my ears started closing down. It got real quiet. You could hear a little hum in my ears. And then he reached back with his left hand and come by, and he scooped up a bunch of water with that hand and just threw it over on me. So that tells you when that water hit my face, number one, it tells you how close he was. But also when that water hit my face, everything went pow, and my legs started working. And instead of going around the treetop, I shot through the treetop. Now I dropped my tackle box and my fishing pole. Didn't even know it. all I wanted to do is get away from this thing. I had my rifle, 22 rifle in my hand, but you know, I didn't even remember having it in my hand. I ripped through the top of that tree, through the bars and everything. When I got to the barbed wire fence, I just slid my gun under it real quick as I was running. I dove through the fence. Of course, I caught barbed wires on my back and my belly and stuff. Picked up my gun and I ran so hard across that pasture getting back to the house. But when I got back to the house, I collapsed, you know, and when I fell, it knocked the wind out of me. And my grandpa was coming out from milking the cows because he had 2-gallon tin cans in his hands. He used what we called the milk buckets. And he come walking over to me. He said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" And he said, I couldn't hardly talk. I was just jacked up, just petrified, scared. And he seen I didn't have no breath, so he grabbed my belt and pulled it up in the center and kind of arced me up a little bit. I caught my breath immediately, and I was like, "Grandpa, there's a monster in them woods. There's a monster in them woods." And he said, "Boy, I've been telling you," because I told my grandpa, and he believed me, that there was something else besides a bear. And my grandpa called it a haint. And he said, "Boy, there's a haint down there. I told you that haint was going to run off with you if you keep being down there. You need to stay out in them woods." And what I didn't realize, but after my first encounter with that sucker, that rascal, my grandpa started sharing his encounters that he had growing up with the big guys. And he was a tree topper in Idaho, which was one of the most dangerous jobs you could have had back then. Of course, that wasn't the days of chainsaw. He was born in 1902, so it gives you about where his age was. But he said he would see them things, watching them through the trees and stuff when he was at the top of those trees up in Idaho. And he said one guy got, I don't know if he got boogered up or got scared or, you know, just decided to pop a shot at one. Grandpa never told me if he hit it or not. But that night, there was about 8 to 10 of them come into camp and tore the camp all to pieces. And the only guy that got hurt was the guy that pulled the trigger. That tells me that, you know, there's some intelligence there. If they knew exactly what tent he was in, to be able to get him. They threw him up against a tree. They had to haul him out in the wagon to the hospital. But that first one I saw, he was another thing about that sighting. He was different from most of the sightings that I've had across my life or encounters that I've had across my life. This one, he wasn't real big and bulky. Now he was big. He was tall. I'd estimate he was probably 7.5 to 8 feet tall, but is built more like a basketball player. He wasn't one of these big, broad Hulkster type that I have seen. I mean, he was kind of slim. He did have a build to him, but he was slim. I noticed that he did have a beard and mustache. The thing about this one here that was so unique, besides it scaring the crap out of me and making me scared of the dark till I was 18, it's not that I wasn't scared of the dark. I knew I was in the dark now. But this guy, I don't know if he was either a hybrid or possibly a feral human. I don't know which. But with that height, with 6 inches of hair over him, which you could see kind of through his hair and see he didn't have much hair here. He did have a beard. He had a mustache that was way long. He had a nose like ours. It wasn't a flat or anything like that. He had a nose like ours. Everything was just humongous on this rascal. And I remember he had like horse teeth. It looked like big block horse teeth. Now I've seen some that have canines. Those ain't so nice sometimes. But the encounters that I've had that just had the big horse top teeth, big buck teeth that go around, those seem to be a little bit more docile than that first rascal I had.
Well, Dave, can I ask you a couple?
Sure, you bet.
Maybe your volume should be turned down just a little bit, Dave, if you can. We're getting a little echo, a little feedback. You don't have to turn it way down, but just a bit. There we go. Perfect. You said you heard like a hum at one point during that encounter, where you could feel it like in your chest. What can you get into a little more details on what you heard?
You know, some of these rascals that I've experienced, some say they have infrasound, some say it's not. I've been hit by infrasound 3 times.
Okay.
2 times it wasn't real good. It made me real sick. And one time I just lost time. But that one there, when you're in a high stress situation, your life or somebody else's life, you go into this mode, so to speak. Now I did hear him scream. That did vibrate me. But it's hard to explain, not unless you're looking down the barrel of a gun. Now, if that one hit me with infrasound, I don't know. I couldn't tell you yes or no. But when you get put in that high stress situation, everything starts shutting down, and you see and hear nothing but the objective that is in front of you. So as far as the humming in my ears, the low hum in my ears, that could have been something. I don't know.
Right. But was it, do you think, did you hear it? Because like infrasound can be above infrasound where you can hear part of it. Mm-hmm. The other part can be below, 20 hertz where you can't hear it. It could be in both ranges. So did you actually maybe hear any kind of buzzing or humming? Or was it just more felt in the ear?
I think it was more felt in the ear.
Okay.
For sure.
But it was kind of like a vibration.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
For sure. Because you mentioned hum twice, and I'm like, because we've been studying this kind of ignored hum, buzz, purr sound that people have been getting and recording and talking about since 1934, but it really isn't out in the public yet. And some of the Dave, how about we play a sound for Dave?
Sure,
Jeff,
if you want.
Just like the Texas one is good.
Sure. Give me
Listen to this, Dave.
Pull that up. All right.
Sorry, I love hearing. I mean, because this happened quite a while ago. I love hearing these encounter stories.
Sorry, got to give me a minute here to pull it up.
You have it though.
I do. I just got to find it.
Oh, okay.
Why am I not seeing?
I think it was called infrasound. That one, it was labeled, but it was Texas. Or you can play the Snellgrove. You can play the Snellgrove one. It doesn't matter. I just want him to hear this and see if it rings any bells.
Sorry, I'm looking.
All right. Well, when you get it, Jeff, just let us know. We'll just continue.
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing that.
Yeah. Well, he will. Let him look for it, and we can keep talking. Now, you mentioned also he had his hand in the water, and he was like, was he splashing gently?
His hand was kind of going like this.
What do you think that was?
That I do not know, but it was waving the water next to his right side. Why he was doing that, I do not know.
Do you think he was okay? Are there fish in this particular water? Was he maybe trying to attract fish?
He was standing right into my best fishing spot down there.
So he may have been maybe doing something to attract fish, possibly.
Yeah. Possibly.
Well, somebody. I'm going to put this out there. Somebody needs to try that. And was it like what, 2 feet of water or less?
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody can try that. If you get into an area with a bunch of sunfish or whatever,
Right.
What kind of fish were in there?
Usually I caught them big hand-sized perch, but further out you can catch
perch.
some good catfish and drum.
Okay, so maybe he was calling it, but it would be a fun experiment to see if you put your hand on the water and kind of vibrate it if it attracts fish. Go ahead and play it, Jeff.
This is the Snellgrove one.
Okay. Oh, he's looping it, Dave, so it's just that one.
Right, it's looping.
But it's looping.
Here's the one from.
Here's Texas.
This is the Texas one.
Turn the volume. Turn the volume up.
Thanks. I'll play it again.
Wow.
And you could understand how that would vibrate your eardrum. It just does.
Right. Now, and again, that sound was pulled off of a VHS tape from the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow, that was it wasn't like some, there's no doubt of its provenance. It's real.
Yeah. Somebody didn't hear me talking about it, and so I think we're going to invent a home.
This was on a tape sitting in. This was on a tape sitting in a box for years.
Wow,
it was noticed.
Yeah,
that kind of explains some noises I've got on my sound trap that I've kind of just blowed off.
Oh, that's why. So, what sounds are those, Dave?
Wow, I've got growls, howls, the what I call the ghibli, where there sounds like two samurai warriors is the best way I can explain what it sounds. It sounds like a foreign language.
Okay,
but yeah, that second noise that y'all played, even possibly the first noise that y'all played, because I set out, usually when I go into an investigation area, I usually set out at least 6 sound traps in different areas. If we're doing like a private property or something like that, I take just a handful of people in that's on my team. We go in there and investigate the property. We'll set up some sound traps, 6 sound traps around the perimeter and stuff. Then of course I got camera traps and stuff like that, but I always thought that was some kind of background noise or something. I'm gonna have to go through I've got tons of audios. I'm gonna have to go through some of my audio again, and especially the ones I've taken down the FOUT. I think I've got some of that stuff.
Yeah, that would be so awesome, Dave. So you came off this experience. Obviously, you said it made you scared of the dark. I'm still scared of the dark, by the way.
I'm not so much.
And I'm not afraid to admit it. I still am.
Well, once you find out what's in the dark,
yeah,
that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, I told my family and friends, and of course, I got ridiculed. And they thought it was the fun deal was to throw Dave outside after the sun went down, and that wasn't very pretty, to say the least. I'll bust the window to get me back in that house. So I was a kid, I'd be out playing, but buddy, when that sun went down, I was heading to the house. Didn't matter where I was at. I had to be by home before the sun went down, because I knew I was in the dark then. That's the big impression it made on me. I coon hunt by myself all the time. Take my 2 dogs, go coon hunting. I'd hear weird stuff down there, but never could tell no heads and tails from it.
Yeah.
But after that, my coon hunting days were over for a long time.
So let's just jump into this dumb question. But all of these weird things that we live with in the world, from maybe UAPs to dogmen to these winged humanoids, all this stuff, it's so weird. And I know it's real because I've seen too much of it myself through the years. And I just, to this day, I'm baffled as to what it could be. There's obviously, I have my own tons of little dumb theories, but what are your theories? You're our guest. What are your thoughts on all these things?
My thoughts on that is if people knew exactly what went bump in the night, they wouldn't go out after the sun.
Amen.
For sure. Because I've seen some wild stuff in the woods. I've experienced, seeing ghosts in the woods, anywhere from ghosts to aliens to dogmans, a couple of skinwalkers. But that's crazy stuff.
Do you think your radio is it because your radio is kind of tuned in a bit more, because you're just observing, because it pays to really look close? In other words, you've acknowledged these things are out there, so you're not just ignoring the woods when you walk.
No, not at all, especially after that first encounter. You know, my head's always on a swivel.
Right.
With my training and background, you know, we observe everything that's around us. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I have to sit with my back against the wall at all times. I got to know where the exits are at and stuff like that. But, you know, a friend of mine, when I first come out with just a few stories over the phone, I had a telephone interview with Miguel with Sasquatch Theory. And later on went up there and had an in chair with him out in the woods. And that was pretty cool. He's the one that opens Pandora's box for me. He just, you know, got to have you on the show. Got to have you on the show. And finally I told him I'd share some. So I feel that people can be tagged or marked. You know, but I've always seen whacked out stuff, you know.
Well, I'm hoping you'll share a few tonight.
You know, from I've seen from good to evil. Good has power. The bad has power as well. I was in a satanic church in Dallas. It's kind of off kilter, but you're asking me for weird stuff. And I was trying to find my way. Now, I was always taken to church when I was a kid, but I decided to blaze my own trail when I got a certain age. I'm my own man, my own God. And I was in a satanic church in downtown Dallas. And I witnessed a woman that we were all in a circle. You know, they had the candles going, all this kind of stuff. And we were in a group. We were holding hands. And she left the group. She like slid across the floor, not moving her legs. She didn't take her legs and back up or anything like that. She slid all the way across to the wall, went up the wall and over where we were at.
You saw this
with her hands by her side.
Wow.
That's when I was like, this is way too weird for me. I am out of here. That kind of scared me there. So I've seen the power of evil and I've seen the power of good as well. You know, I've just always been open to crazy stuff, I guess. And it doesn't matter where I went, where I lived, you know, especially the big guys, they would always show up. You know, a few other crazies, but they would always show up. So I feel you can be tagged or marked.
Okay. So you think that's more of it? I've had people tell me that. They'll go, Doug, you're tagged. You know, and I don't know what to think of that. I don't want to be tagged, but on the same token, I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's like some of us seem to attract that kind of a thing. You know, do you know what I mean?
A nexus of high strangeness.
A nexus of yes, and like Jeff, he hasn't seen anything.
Not really, no.
Wow.
And we wonder why. You know, it's as fun to talk about why a guy hasn't seen anything as it is to talk to somebody like you that's had so many experiences, Dave.
Well, even on that line, I've been trying to get on this hunting lease that my brother was on here in South Central Arkansas. And it's a little more closer to Texarkana, but he'd been on that lease 13, 14 years. My cousin, where base camp is, my cousin, his house is there. So I just pulled my RV down there and park it. My brother had a camper trailer he parked in and stuff. And I finally got in on that lease and started going down there and hunting with my older brother after my mom died. And I started seeing stuff, you know, tree breaks, hearing tree knocks, structures, and then I'd start hearing the howls, the whoops, you know. And I went to my cousin. I said, man, I was like, you've been down here all your life. Have you ever seen anything weird down here? I said, you hunt at night all the time. So is there anything, you know, bad happen or something that just kind of boogered you up just a little bit? And he's like, no, there ain't nothing like that down here. He said, what are you getting at? Well, I just told him, I said, well, I'm just seeing some stuff that I've seen other places. and just kind of left it like that. My brother been hunting down there for 13 years and ain't never saw none until I started pointing out stuff to him. Then he was kind of like, oh, wow. And even my cousin, you know, he didn't believe, you know, I finally told him what it was. I said, I think you got some Sasquatches down here. And he's like, no, man, there ain't nothing like that down here. And we were out hog hunting one day, and we had to go into what we call the Jesus bushes. And these things got long thorns on them. They're green, and they have a little ball on there that looks kind of like an orange, but it's not an orange. So we had the dogs bayed in the middle of one of those. So me and him tried to crawl on our bellies. Well, right in the middle of that's doggone tree break. And we kind of stood up. We got the hog, killed it. And then he said, let me ask you something, Dave. He said, see this right here? What is that? And I said, well, it's a tree break. Well, he says, I've been noticing these all the way, you know, for a while now out here. What is doing that? And I said, cuz you got a Squatch down here. And come to find out, he had 5 of them down there. They have, once we were doing some hog hunting and down there, and it was my cousin, his fiance, me, and my little brother. And there was one that screamed. He was probably 80 yards away. And that sucker lit off, man. And my cousin's eyes went about that big around. He's like, what the hell was that? Just quoting him. And I said, that's a Squatch, bro. I said, there's a Squatch over there. He's like, man, we got to get out of here. I said, don't worry about it. They ain't going to bother you if you don't bother them. Come to find out, they had 5 down there that I interacted with for about 6 years until there was like a 15 foot of water that come through there. And I haven't seen them back since then. I don't know if that clan left the area, but they were down there for a long time. I even set up a gifting spot at an Indian tree, and I would leave, you know, different stuff, trying to fill them out and see what they'd like, what they wouldn't like. They love candy bars. You got to take them out of the wrapper. They didn't like bananas. Go figure. But like apples, they love watermelons. Love watermelons. So I'd just take a bunch of old watermelons, I'd cut them in 4s and hang them up in the trees at this gifting spot. And I tried to set cameras all around. Well, I didn't try. I did set cameras all the way around these areas, and couldn't get not one picture. I'd get pictures of squirrels, rabbits, but and even deer. But but you could see the fruit or the stuff I'd leave on there, and it would, like, you see one picture, the stuff's still there. You see another picture, maybe half of it's gone. And I mean, it was real crazy. My batteries, my camera traps would go. I'd put brand new batteries in there, go back a week later, and they're dead. And these things usually last all hunting season. But I finally did catch one picture, and I set them up high and pointed them down in a triangle. And I got one clip, one picture of one standing probably 60 yards from the gifting spot. The biggest one that I encountered down there is, I ended up calling him Big Eddie. He was, he's probably, last time I saw him, he was probably about 11 foot tall. Just a hulking beast. And then there was 2 adults with him, and then some juveniles that I had down there that I was interacting with. And it was pretty interesting, you know. These things are very, very intelligent. And, you know, I started leaving stuff at the gifting spot. The stuff would disappear. You know, it took a little time before they would start taking stuff. Blood peanut butter. But not only were they taken, then they turned around and started leaving. So they started leaving me little trinkets, stuff like that. I think they left me maybe 6 or 7 arrowheads at that spot. A big steel ball bearing, which I don't know how they got their hands on that big steel ball bearing. I was shocked when I found it.
How big was it?
It was about the size of $50. It was a big ball bearing. He left a club what it looks like to me is a club on the gifting spot one time. I've got it. I still have the arrowheads and stuff. I usually set them out when I go talk or I'm bending or something like that. Then I've got another deal I have a tree break. Now, this is a genuine tree break. The reason I say that, because I saw him break the limb off the tree and snapped it in half. And there was a piece that fell down by his foot. And he looked at me and he looked at that piece and he reached down and grabbed that piece, turned around, leaned it up against the tree, and then turned around and walked off. So when he was gone, I knew he was gone. I slipped right over there and grabbed that tree break, and I've still got it with me. It's crazy what they started doing.
How many Bigfoots? Okay. And I know it sounds crazy to people who either don't believe or who have never seen a Bigfoot. How many Bigfoots do you think you've actually had a good visual on in your life?
I didn't count them all.
Do you have just a rough guess? It's over 10?
No, it's much more than that.
Okay.
Much more than that. Maybe 80 to 100.
Really?
Maybe.
Doesn't that? Okay, so Jeff, what are your thoughts now? What's going through your head when you hear that? Because you haven't seen anything, huh?
No, but I haven't been in the woods.
Well, I know you believe in these things. I know that.
Yeah, I do, 100%.
But wouldn't you love to see one?
Absolutely.
And Dave here,
well, come on, I do expeditions.
I actually I was in Little Rock last week for work.
Yeah.
So I wasn't
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Wow.
Yeah.
I did.
I had no free time though. I was working all day, every day.
Yeah. We did an expedition down in southwest Arkansas, closer to the Louisiana border. And we videoed. There was one, y'all been talking to Kay, I believe.
Yes.
My admin. I call her my admin.
Yeah.
She's a great help to me. I can't thank her enough. But we had my RV sitting here and the trailer sitting here, and we had one walk through camp, walked right behind, probably less than 10 feet behind Kay, and turned around, looked down, and then walked off. And the guy sitting across from her, so we had a bunch of tables set up on this side with a tent and whatnot, and it was getting dark. And one walked up, looked at Kay, and then just walked off. And the guy's eyes were like this big around. And he's like, don't move. Just keep talking. But both of those saw that one there. And then we thermaled two. We thermaled an adult and a juvenile, which I have thermals on these also. And then we had another one down there. I've got one video. I don't know. It may be a juvenile Sasquatch, but I would lean more to a rake coming down a tree in my research area, came down the tree, did the spider crawl, got up to about 60 yards, give or take, maybe 50, 60 yards, and was fixing to come. Of course, I'm watching it on my thermal and I'm taping it on my thermal. I can send you guys this. Y'all can kind of toss it around and see what you think it is. But he was heading straight toward me on crawling, doing a spider crawl. And the person that was with me, she got boogered up and said, mm-mm. But when she went and jumped in her Jeep, well, the headlights come on, tail lights come on, interior lights come on, and that sucker exited stage left. And I showed it to my head of security, and he's watching the original one, not the clip that I took out of it. But he watched the original one. He's like, well, what's this over here? What's this over here? There was 4 or 5 of them in the video that I didn't even see. But once we got it up on a big screen on my computer, then you could see where the other ones were.
So when you say a rake, you're talking about these white, skinny, usually they're on all 4 with their butt in the air, and kind of schmeagly, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a creature.
Yeah. Them are nasty. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah. What do you know about those things?
Nothing I can tell you on this.
I had a guy that works for me had one run in front of his car, and him and his wife both saw it, and they said its back was higher than the hood of the car, but yet, and they should have hit it, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They said it ran, just darted out from the road on a deserted, they're heading in through farm country, like that.
Yep.
And they said it was so weird.
Yeah. I'll have Case send you that video.
That's crazy.
Maybe y'all can put some thought to it.
Are these a new phenomenon, Dave, or is this something that's been around a long time? Do you think?
They've been around a long time.
Yeah.
They've been around a long time.
Well, what's the scariest thing? I want to get into your faith and all sorts of stuff, but saving that for a little bit. What's kind of the scariest encounter or the most pleasant encounter you've ever had? Or you know what I mean? Just something that really sticks in your brain.
There's been a lot of bluff charges that were pretty scary. I was deer hunting once and down in the same area, and I was just kind of bored setting up in the stand, so I just started slipping through the woods. And Big Eddie come barreling out of a thicket, and I'm in the woods. Of course, the woods is pretty thick, but this big thicket. And the only time he's ever showed aggression toward me. Usually it's pretty docile. You'll see him. He'll kind of, turn around, walk off, or they'll sit there and watch me fish at night because you can always see the eye shine. And he come busting out of the thicket. Have you ever seen a gorilla charge the glass?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was kind of like that. He was kind of
so fast. They're so fast.
Yeah. He covered 80 yards just like that. I mean, almost before I could react. He was over there when he growled when he come out, busted out of that thicket and started running to me. And he was running on all fours, and he was kind of sideways a little bit. He wasn't running like directly at me.
Like dog tracking.
Yeah. What we call here in Arkansas puppy tracking.
Yeah,
he was puppy tracking because his butt was over here like this, but yet he was kind of a little sideways, but he was moving directly toward me, and he got probably 20 feet from me in open woods and just reached down to the ground and just picked up and just showered me with dirt, limbs, leaves. I had leaves in my eyes and stuff like that, and turned around and walked off. And I talked to a couple of research friends of mine about that, and they said that probably, because I told them, I said, man, this dude's been docile. You'd see him, he'd kind of see you, he'd turn around and walk off. But this time he didn't. The only thing we could figure out is there was possibly a new juvenile that maybe I got close to. That may have been tree peeking at me or what, because he never did do that afterwards. And I had a buddy of mine, a researcher, he almost got me killed on that one there, because he told me, he says, Mr. Lumford, he told me, always stand your ground. And if you run, that predator instinct in them will cause them to chase. So I stood there. I'm thinking, I'm probably fixing to go meet Jesus, and my heart's right. So, if this is the way that I'm going to end it, then this is the way I'm going to end it. And I stood my ground, and he ended up stopping, throwing that stuff on me, and turning around and walking off back in the thicket.
What was that creature like? What color was it? How tall was it? Was it big?
Big Eddie, he's almost 11 foot tall. When I first saw him, he was probably 9.5 foot. He has an 18-inch track, which I've got pictures of his tracks. And I casted one. It wasn't real good. It was in a sandbar, but I found it real amazing because his track was about 2.5 inches in the gravel bar. Back then I was probably about 240. I put my foot next to that and bounced up and down on one foot, and I didn't even make a mark. Now, Big Eddie, he's a hulker. He's all there. He's all there. He's black. He's kind of patchy here on his chest, not much hair on the chest and stuff. Now he looks like he's got long hair.
Any gray in his hair?
No. Now I have seen some that were gray. I've even seen one that looked like a skunk, kind of like a white stripe down his back. And
interesting.
But and the other ones, now I noticed that the juveniles are a little bit on the reddish side, and Big Eddie and the two females that run with him are more black. But he's just one of those big. He wouldn't like the first one I saw. He's a beast. He's all there.
How big would you say its like biceps were?
Man, now I know Hulk Hogan got 21-inch biceps. It made him look small.
Really?
Very small. Big, huge forearms on these rascals. And, a lot of people, when they go into the woods and stuff, they're always scanning the woods and nobody scans a tree. I don't know how many times I've caught Big Eddie in a tree or one of the juveniles in a tree. And then when he hits the ground hard. So, and he's also one with like buck teeth. Now he didn't look like the ones that I saw. Now I saw some out in New Mexico when I lived out there. One of them stole my turkey, which really angered me. I was hunting in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, up by Ruidoso, New Mexico. Good place to elk hunt and turkey hunt. And I'm calling in 2 toms uphill. Now, for you turkey hunters out there, that's hard to do, to get a tom to either cross the road, cross a creek or a river, or especially call them uphill. I've got 2 toms. I can see their heads, and I'm already set on a big cypress tree, and I'm back like this. And well, it wasn't a cypress tree, it was one of the big evergreen trees. And I've got my back toward that, and I'm set up with my shotgun. I'm perfectly still. All I had to do is let them come up just a little bit more to I could see which one had the longest beard, and I could have took them out. And then all I saw was a big flash out of my peripheral vision on my left, and one that was huge. I mean, now this guy was a hoaxer, big sucker. He ran across there, grabbed one turkey, feathers went everywhere, and just kept running. He never stopped. I mean, he caught that sucker on the run, grabbed it around the neck, and he was out of there. Now that one there, that sucker was huge, black. His hair was, and it wasn't like the ones that I see down here. That one there was pretty clean. I mean, his hair was sharp. You could, the sunlight that was hitting on his hair, you could see gloss to it where the light would reflect off of it and stuff. Yeah.
Man, I'm just like floored by some of the stuff you've seen, Dave. Do you think that they are dangerous? Do you think you're safe? Do you think it's all just bluster? And kind of like black bears do a lot of bluffing, pound the ground, clack their teeth. They'll try to scare the living crap out of you, but everybody usually walks away safe. Do you think that? I mean, any kind of honest answer you can give us would be awesome. What do you really think? Do you think?
From what I've seen and what I've experienced, I never go in the woods, not unless I go heavy.
Okay.
And if anybody out there thinks that these things will not take a human, they're absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave that one at that.
Okay. I mean, something that powerful and big and fast could kill you by even accident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just even accidental. I mean, I see these people interact with gorillas even. Once in a while, the gorilla will grab one of them and just drag them off.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't know how it's going to end, right?
Right. Now, I've had a lot of docile encounters. I've had more docile encounters than I've had what I would call real extreme counters.
Do you think the females are more docile and you're more likely to have a
as long as you don't get around a juvenile,
Okay.
the females are good. But if you get around a juvenile, they'll rip your head off.
Do you think you saw, like, okay, you talked about that one that really bluff charged you and you got a great look at and it was throwing stuff up in the air. Was that one trying to maybe distract away from a family group that was over there, maybe with a really young one or something? Do you think that's the reason?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the only time. And I saw him many encounters. I encountered with these guys for 6 years. You know, I stayed out in the woods. And then when my wife run off back in 23, that put me right square back in the woods. And that's how I processed all that stuff. And that just put me down for more encounters. I am disappointed if I go into a hot spot and don't see one.
Really?
That
Jeff,
may be
Jeff, you definitely need to join Dave.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Backing up a little bit. You said your childhood encounter. You said your grandpa said there was hates down there. Did your grandpa think that Bigfoot was a real animal, or did he think that was all just hates? Ghosts?
No, he knew that. He knew it was a real flesh and blood animal.
He knew that. Okay.
Yeah, he actually saw them when he'd be up there cutting them trees out with them crosscut saws, and sometimes there'd be two of them up there on a tree if it was real big, cutting the tops out of them trees. And he said, I could see him running down in there, going from tree to tree, watching us and seeing what we were doing. Of course, that was back. He was born in 1902. He said he was in his probably 20s, early 20s back then when he was doing that. So that's way back.
So to him, Bigfoot was just another creature in the woods to him. He thought he knew they were real.
Well, back then they always called them wild mans or haints. My grandpa called it a haint. Yeah, boogers. That was another. Yeah,
the haint. Why have I never heard the word haint? I've been doing research for 40 plus years and I've never heard that term.
Right.
But when you say it, it sounds so natural.
Yeah.
It's like I've heard it a million times, but I've never heard that term. Haint.
Southern term.
That's what he called it.
Haint. God, that's like, wow.
Of course, Grandpa was real superstitious.
Haint.
Yeah, a haint.
Well, it's because they I don't know. That's just mind blowing. I've never heard that term.
Right.
So you agree with me that they're probably, if they would have been alone, they probably wouldn't have done that, come out in the open and tried to intimidate you. But they seem very, they like to distract. It's kind of my theory. Like somebody will, while they're leaving and escaping, they're distracting your vision and what you're seeing.
I've had them do that plenty of times. You don't worry about the one that you see. You worry about the ones that you don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes there's rogue squatches out there, one that challenged the alpha male. He gets thrown out. Now, that's the most dangerous squatch there is in the woods.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you get 2 or 3 of those that team up. That's bad. Real bad.
How many of these things do you How many of these things do you think exist in North America, Dave? What's your guess? Have you ever thought about that?
A lot.
A lot.
More than what people, we've had something that's taken over North America. Everything depends on it. It's like a species always depends on water and food.
Food supply. We sure have. Don't you agree? I mean, you're old enough to know the food supply has gone up dramatically since when we were kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
you agree?
We have what we call feral hogs down here now.
Yeah.
They got introduced and they have gone totally.
Yeah.
They're multiplying like rabbits.
And what a protein source.
Yeah. For a Bigfoot. Yeah. Because there's plenty of them out there.
And how about deer populations in Arkansas? Has that increased? Have their populations gone crazy too?
As far as the deer?
Since from when you were a kid, I'm going from kid to today. Do you think the deer populations are way up?
Oh, yeah. By far.
Yeah.
By far.
So the food, okay. When I was a kid, never saw a raptor of any type. Never an eagle, no hawks, no owls, nothing. Never saw any coyotes. Never saw one bobcat my whole childhood.
Wow.
Never saw a deer. There were no deer. Like in Minnesota was devoid of deer. They were overhunted.
Wow.
It would make the papers, Dave, when a deer would be seen.
Wow. Yeah.
It was a big deal. And now I can't go on a bike ride without seeing 50 of them.
Right. Yeah. The food, as long as the food source there, species will grow.
Yeah.
They got food and water.
But you know what's weird? The game birds too have gone up. Turkeys, grouse, pheasants, everything is flourishing right now.
Well, that's like here in Arkansas. You can, in my area, you can kill 5 deer a year per tag.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can get 2 bucks and 3 does, or you can get 4 does, 1 buck. I'm not much on killing does. I'll pop one every now and then, and that was another deal down there on my hunting lease. I interacted with these things, and I actually deer hunted down there at my gifting spot. And I was just, I knew they were there, and I had a doe coming in, and I went ahead and popped her just for some camp meat. And I talk to them all the time. May sound crazy, but I let them know when I'm in the woods, I don't no harm. We can share these woods. I'm only here to take what I need.
Well, the thing is though, Dave, when you go in the woods and you talk, you're not a predator at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely not a predator because, I've had experiences where the more you talk, the more you see wildlife.
Yeah.
Because they know you're not hunting because you're not being quiet.
Right.
Sneaky.
Well, I shot that one doe, was off to the left of me, maybe 40 yards. She didn't see me on my ground blind, and I popped her. And I knew I'd already been hearing tree knocks around me. I'd always hear tree knocks down there. And so I just talked to him. I said, hey, I've downed the deer, and I'm going to gut it here. I said, if you want a piece of this, part of this meat, I said, y'all bang on one of them trees over there. And it was probably about 10 minutes, and you heard pop. And so I cut a ham off that deer after I gutted it out and left it there, pulled the rest of it, got it on my 4-wheeler, and I headed on out. When I come back in there the next morning, that ham was gone and the guts were still there, but like the heart, liver, kidneys, all that stuff was gone with that ham.
Do you think that's primarily what they eat when they kill, like whether it's a hog or a deer? They eat the liver. They eat some of the bigger organs and leave the intestines and all that stuff.
In my encounters, I say, yeah. They'll eat the soft tissue ones, and of course they'll eat the meat. They ain't gonna, they ain't gonna pass up on a free meal. And that was just the relationship that I built with these 5 down there, possibly 6 now. But it was crazy down there. They were, every time I went in the woods, they'd come around. I had one throw a plastic jar at me that was yeller, and it was half full of dirt. And I'm sitting there in my ground blind. I've already heard 2 tree knocks. I'm sitting here logging in on my phone, and I hear something bounce off the side of my ground blind that I was in. And I kind of looked over at it, and there's a jar that's about that big around. It's plastic. Had a lid that was screwed on. It was about half full of dirt that they threw and bounced it off my. I figured that was one of the juveniles because they're the only ones that threw rocks at me.
Crazy, man. You've I had no idea you had that many experiences. So the populations of these things, you believe they're expanding. I do too. Because of the food sources have just exploded.
Yeah.
And do you have a number that you think about? Like how many do you think there are in the U.S. or even just North America alone? Including Canada. Do you ever think about the amount?
Well, I know they're in Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
Yeah.
But because I've seen them in all 3 different places. But man, to put a number on these things, I don't know.
I put you on the spot. You don't have to answer.
I believe there's more now than there was when I was a kid.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And the hogs alone could account for a huge population increase in food.
Yeah.
And they breed, hogs breed so quick, and
Yeah.
they're they're heading into Minnesota now from the south and the north.
Right.
And they're definitely going to be here in Minnesota. Are you glad there's hogs where you live? Or are you?
Well, I love hog hunting.
You do?
But
Okay. So
we're just kind of crazy with it, though. We'll get the dogs to bay them. We don't shoot them. We go in there with our Bowie knives, and we meet them on their level. So we'll just shank them. It's kind of getting on their level, and because they want them things to eat you. But I'm a bit of adrenaline junkie, so I love hog hunting.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. Somebody said you were a badass. I believe it. Okay. I don't want to ignore the part where you're known also as the Bigfoot Preacher. Can you explain that all to us?
That once I come clean, and that's kind of like a new title. Is the Christian church ready for this type of cryptid? No, not at all. When I just kind of come out of the closet just a little bit, I was pastoring a church here for 8.5 years in the town that I'm in now. And when I'd have encounters, I'd kind of share it with my church a little bit. Hey, I found some 18-inch tracks. They weren't ready for all that. What the church don't understand. And I was recently in a ministry and kind of got ridiculed and had to end up leaving that ministry because what they can't label, they'll call it a demon. You're chasing demons, and these things are not demons. I believe they're flesh and blood, but yet they've pulled some stuff on me that, I mean, you just can't explain it. You can't explain it. Yeah, thank God they don't throw their poop. I just saw a comment on there. Wow. Yeah, like monkeys in the zoo. But I had one, I was up in the Ozark Mountains, and I'm on an old logging road. It's probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I find in my investigations, especially as it's getting hot, like it's getting hot now, the best time is 2 a.m. to 5:30. I don't know what it is about 5:30, but I have seen in different locations, I've seen more between those hours closer to 5:30.
You're talking AM, 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. And most people that, go Bigfoot, they just go out there, and I've seen it in my community as well. They head back to the camp, about 11 o'clock. They'll jump in bed. It's like, hey, these things are, kind of nocturnal when it gets hot. We need to, but I go by myself. It doesn't matter. But this was one encounter that really freaked me out. And this encounter wasn't too far back. Heard a tree knock. It was me and somebody else. Heard a tree knock, and probably 80 yards off. So we kind of hunkered down right there. Now we're in the middle of the Ozark Mountains. It is, no light. You don't see your hand in front of your face dark. I mean, it was ooey dark. And I caught him tree peeking probably 80 yards out. And what this one did, we hunkered down, we hit him with 2 thermals, and he would go from tree to tree, kind of getting closer. Now, this was a period of maybe an hour and a half. This encounter took about 2 hours for it to come to the end of it. And he would stay out there behind a tree and he'd peek. And then he'd get closer, tree to tree. Now, these are big, giant woods, never been logged. This is in a national forest here in Arkansas. And so there's some huge trees. And we're on a logging road, but yet we're about 30 yards out from the logging road, it was real dense woods. And finally, he come up right up 30 yards from us. He's standing there. He's lit up white. And then you can hear him. I could hear him with my ears pushing through the brush. And he pushed through the brush about 10 yards and then completely disappeared. Now, I heard him pushing through the woods coming at us. But when he disappeared, there were you couldn't hear nothing, no tracks leading out. There was no thermal, no nothing. He was gone. He was gone. How he did that, I don't have the slightest idea. That's the first one I've ever had one do that to me. And that kind of boogered me up a little bit. It kind of scared me a little bit because you got this guy. I thought he was going to come out and shake our hand. There he is, and then bam, he's gone, disappeared. We were both blown away on that one there. That was probably the most craziest one I ever had. The most funniest one I ever had is, I don't know if you guys ever seen a potbelly. This one was kind of old. He had a lot of gray on him. He's standing out 60 yards, and he had a big old potbelly. It looked like he had a big beer belly. He was kind of hunkered down pretty good. So I took him as one that was well aged. And he was standing behind a pine tree, probably about 10 inches around. You could see his butt. It may be a little bit bigger than that, but you could see his butt. You could see his pot belly. And what he would do is he'd put the tree's right here, and he knew I was over there, and he would peek around like this and look at me, and then he'd go back. And then he'd peek around the back of that tree and look back. And I'm sitting there laughing at him. I said, dude, I see you. I said, I can see your butt. I can see your fat belly hanging out there. That was the funniest sighting I ever had. And he stood there for just a little bit, and then he just turned around and walked away. That was the docile one, but it was hilarious, him trying to hide behind that little bitty tree and his big old pot belly sticking out. Usually the ones
how do you know it wasn't a pregnant female?
Well,
you ever think of that?
I didn't ever see no boobies.
Well, maybe. I know, but I was thinking about the Freeman
with a big butt.
I was thinking about the Freeman footage, and that one's got a big pot belly too. And we've since determined it's a big Jill.
Wow.
And it's just a thought. If you haven't thought of it,
that could be a thought. But it was an older. I knew it. I could tell it was an older one. By the way, because 99% of these things have a kind of slump to them. Like their heads a little bit.
They look down.
Kind of reminds me of an autistic kid.
Yeah.
But this one was hung way over, and you could see silver in his hair.
Yeah.
He wasn't as hairy as most of them. You could pretty much see his skin through there.
Maybe it could have been an older female that was breeding.
Yeah, that could be very well. I didn't even think about that.
Maybe the hair's worn off from all the kids climbing on her.
Yeah, her big booty hanging out. And then that belly. Yeah. I just figured he had too many beers is what I figured.
I didn't expect to be able to teach you anything tonight, Dave, but what the hell? Take a shot at it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Oh man, this is so amazing. Do you feel that this mystery is ever going to be solved, or do you think we're getting close? Do you think, the DNA obviously is getting better and better and better and better, even though we haven't really seen anything yet? It's got to be some stuff that's credible and released on DNA soon.
Well, that pretty much is probably already figured out.
But we're not getting the info.
We're not getting the info.
I've got
the way Trump's rolling, he's giving out all these UFO stuff. So I figure he's going to give up the Bigfoots.
I wouldn't, I don't think I'd be shocked if all of a sudden they said, hey, we need to disclose this too. And
right.
It wouldn't shock me.
You throwing it out there. No, it wouldn't shock me a bit.
And there's no way that the government wouldn't have been studying these things. There's no way. Right. I guarantee they are. I guarantee they have been. And
Papa G knows everything.
Exactly. I love it. I love your terms. The government.
Yeah.
Papa G.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I
two guys that were cryptid retrieval specialist. And I'll just leave that one right there. So does Poppy G know? Absolutely.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, I got a little can we do a little detour? Because this is I did a little deep dig, and this is super interesting, talking about haints.
About what? Oh, haints.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been over doing a word study.
I just did a little side digging here, and apparently there's a thing called haint blue. It's a color that is traditionally used in southern homes, like you see on that roof there, that keeps them away. And apparently it mimics the color of water, and ghost in the belief is that haints or ghosts can't cross water. So there is
wow.
It's like that pale blue it's an actual shade of blue now that's now called haint blue. That's where that color came
so
from.
it's supposed to like ward off.
They can't cross it. Yeah, like
Bigfoots or whatever ghosts.
They won't cross that color.
Kind of reminds me of Go Away Green, that Disney uses to paint all of the stuff they don't want you to see.
Yeah. So
Go Away
blue
Green
is a real color now. That's where that term.
See now, Dave, that's the second thing we taught you today. Damn it!
Right? Hey, I'm not too old to learn.
No, I know.
That's like a lot of people come to me with their sightings. And the way I look at it like that, it's not for me to judge them about their sightings or anything like that. This is what they perceived in that moment. I've seen a lot of big guys in this world. Call them out, call them liars and stuff like that. You just don't treat people like that. That's what they perceived when they, in that moment in time. You weren't there, so shut up.
It's interesting that haint blue is blue because I've told people, and I've seen too much evidence of it, that Bigfoot's favorite color is blue.
Yeah, that's kind of why it stuck out when I saw that term.
Oh, so you connected those dots.
Yeah, like same thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Have you ever figured out, if you leave things out, is there a color they seem to like, Dave, down there?
That I really haven't paid attention. I've
try some blue stuff.
I'll try that. Yeah.
And see if, or leave a couple of red things and a couple of blue things, and see if the blue goes missing.
Yeah,
maybe they like blue for the same reason. Keeps the haints away from them too. Who knows?
But what's so cool about you, Dave, is that you're obviously in some really good areas. They're obviously whatever you're doing, you're not scaring them off. You're probably, if you're marked, you're definitely marked. And you have more chances to do experiments like that.
Right.
That are harmless to them, but but could provide a lot of info.
Mm-hmm. I've got a new hot spot that I've been investigating that, I've only done the tip of the iceberg, but I was thinking about setting a gifting area down there as well.
Yeah.
I might try that down there. For sure.
Yeah. That'd be a great thing to try. Blue. And blue, I've thought about why would they like blue? Well, it's one of the few colors in nature. Look at the sky is blue, the water's blue. They like fruit is probably, their favorite fruit is probably blue, blah, blah, blah.
They like water.
And if they can see in the UV range, do you ever use a UV flashlight in any of your studies?
Yeah. I recently, I've got a UV strobe light, and they didn't really like that much.
Nobody likes strobe lights.
We were up doing an investigation with another crew. They invited me to go along with them, and we were in this one area, and it was way cool. They showed me a couple of different areas in there, and one place they call the worship center, and it's like all these logs piled up and around this. I mean, with different structures and stuff, but the head of it has the big X at the head of where this place is. which we found, as soon as we got in there, we heard a whoop, and that was the only thing we heard at that time. And then we kind of went back up to where camp was, and then we kind of dispersed. Everybody went wherever they wanted to go, and we teamed up with some other guys. And we had this was real cool. We had a radiation meter. And so we left camp. We're probably 75, 100 yards from camp going up the side of this mountain here. And all of a sudden the woods just went quiet. I mean, I've never heard the woods shut down that quick.
Okay, but I'm confused. Was it when you turned the meter on, it went quiet?
No, we already had the meter on.
Okay.
Shipped to us. The radiation meter. Somebody brought some. And
so was a Geiger counter.
So we put it on. And as soon as the woods went quiet, and the nurse is the one that had the meter, Julie from Abilene. She's one of my Bigfoot buddies. But that radiation meter pegged.
Really?
And she's like, oh my God. And she's looking at, because she's an X-ray tech. So she knows all about that. And she's like, this ain't good. We need to move or something. But that radiation meter went off 2 or 3 times on the side of that mountain.
Like it was buzzing.
That was kind of wild.
What do you think that was from, David?
That I have I've never seen anything do that. We're in the side of a mountain up in the Ozarks. What the heck's gonna blow the radiation meter? I mean, pegged.
Well, just so you know, those things they're like $20-$30 now on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought you could buy a Geiger counter that's really accurate for $20-$30?
Right.
And I bought one. I'm like, what can it hurt to bring it?
Right.
It can't hurt anything.
Yeah. We're fixing to get into that ourselves and start carrying a little bit extra equipment.
Although I did find out Adam's a slightly radioactive, so I try to stay away from him. Just slightly. That's the other thing. It's weird. Some people have that make that thing click more than others.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Whoops. I just
that was kind of weird.
What other tools do you bring with you? Do you bring an EMF meter by any chance?
We have a couple of times. I didn't have one myself. I borrowed one from a friend. Didn't have much luck with it that night. So, but I've been talking to Kay about getting some more.
Yeah.
Getting a pretty good one, and then getting a radiation meter as well, since what happened back there up in the Ozarks. I think that was earlier this year when that all happened. I was with the Bigfoot cartel. They invited me up there to go with them. It was crazy up there.
Do you even try to get photos, or are you just kind of like, I don't even care anymore? Or
really don't care anymore. But I do set out sound traps.
Okay.
I mean, I have photographs, video.
Yeah, you said you have thermal footage and so on.
Yeah.
And
so I mean,
you don't seem like the kind of guy that's out to prove anything, other than you're just curious for your own.
People can believe me and they don't have to believe me. I'm okay with that, but I know I only testify what I've seen and heard.
We've been just started to play with the idea because it was effective at this, ranch in Texas. They used mirrors. And we've just finally put a camera out in the woods with a mirror, but we're hoping to build a bunch of them and just try it. I mean, what is it going to hurt?
Yeah, I've heard about that, bouncing the camera off mirrors.
Off a mirror.
Talking about.
But what was interesting, because we had a guest on, and I did my tech breakdown. I didn't do one this week, but I did tech breakdown, Dave, on using, I showed like diagrams on how you can do it. And this guy goes, that's weird. He said, I had a dream that a Bigfoot came to me and said, if you want to see us, use a mirror. Wow. And that was his dream. And I thought, well, I don't think the guy made up that dream. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
That would be real interesting. I have, of course, I have a business here in Malvern. I do window tinting and vinyl wraps and graphics on cars and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
But I have a tent. Seeing how you brought that up, I have a vine, not a tent, but I do have tent that's mirrored but I also have a vinyl. I'm just wondering if I could put that on a sign blank and bounce the camera off it.
I guess if you're going to try something like that, you're better. It's like a reverse periscope. It's got to be at a 45 degrees to the camera, and you could build. We're going to be 3D printing these triangular camera mount for like a wise camera, small surveillance camera.
Right.
And they have memory cards. They can be independent. You can just put one out in the woods versus a camera trap.
Yeah.
But we'll have those. We're going to offer the 3D printing plans for free for people.
Oh, cool.
So they can just download it and take it to any 3D print place if they don't have a 3D printer, and get it printed, and then just slip in a mirror that you can buy at the hardware store for 50 cents.
Right.
But I think you would be. Yeah, I've seen the Mylar vinyl, and it's good, but if it's not flat, perfectly flat, you get a lot of distortion.
Right.
And it's not the best mirror in the world. Why not just use a real mirror?
Right.
I used to run a vinyl shop too at one point.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, I know a lot about vinyl. Yeah, you're in a great business because that's so popular now. There's no more sign painters; they're all dead. All the sign painters are dead, Dave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The vinyl puts sign painters out of business. I think we still have one sign painter here in town.
Yeah.
And he's well up in years.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, it's cool hand painted signs, but yeah, vinyl is so cool. But yeah, I'd love to talk to you about some things that you could try in your new area.
Yeah.
Because you're in a position probably better than most to do experiments that are harmless to these creatures to see what might work.
Right.
And I always say, if you don't try, you're not going to get anything.
Right.
Somebody's going to do the right things and get some new footage that's going to rival anything. And it's going to, I always say, people are like, well, it won't matter. People won't believe it anyhow. No, I don't believe that. Real footage looks real. If I show you a Nat Geo video of a tiger and you see that, damn well that's real, not AI.
Right.
If you see a real Bigfoot, you just know. There's so many millions of subtle clues that we pick up on. We know animation from real.
Right.
I don't care how much they spend on it. That's still animation. And yeah, it's getting better, but it ain't there yet.
Still got a long way to go.
It's got a ways to go. Yeah. I think we're still safe.
It'll catch up pretty quick.
Well, tell us about how do you go about, I think it was you too, that you ride like a motorcycle, don't you?
Harley.
A Harley.
Yep.
And what do you wear? You wore a Bigfoot suit, as I remember.
No.
Not that.
No, that's not me. I do ride a Harley.
Okay.
I've been a part of a ministry for about 9 years, somewhere around in there. That we all rode motorcycles, did ministry, helped people in recovery, do rescues and whatnot. But they're not, I don't think they're real comfortable with what I was doing in the Bigfoot world. So we just kind of had a part in other ways.
Oh, okay.
Over a few issues. And that's okay. God's opened up another door for me to step through, because some of these places that I'm being able to speak, number one, God's given me a different platform now to be able to speak. And every time I speak, I always include my faith within that.
Yeah.
Talking about the Bigfoot thing, I feel you can still, worship God and believe it's Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and He's the only one in heaven. But also, I can go in the woods and I can chase Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And you're not one of the people that go, oh, Bigfoot's a devil or a fallen angel or any of that stuff.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you've got upcoming events at the Bigfoot Enigma Research Center and Museum. Biker and Bigfoot Conference, Arkansas Cryptid Fest, Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Festival, and the Texas Bigfoot Conference. Correct?
Kay knows all that stuff. I'm
telling you, that's where you're going. Damn it, Dave.
She just tells me, she fills up my calendar and says, "Hey, you got to be here."
Well, that's where you're going.
Yeah. Okay, that's where I'm going. Then
that's where you're going.
Then that's where I'm going.
Oh.
Yeah. She's been a great help as far as lining out podcasts and stuff like that. I don't, I'm so busy. And if I'm not busy here at work, I'm running to the woods.
Well, what's nice about Kay is she's really good at communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Very good.
Yeah, she does a really good job. She's right on you. Right on stuff. So that's so highly appreciated. It's the hardest thing about doing a podcast is just communicating with people.
Yeah. Just sit down, have a talk.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Share a few.
Kay always just like, bam, she gets back to you.
Yeah.
So she does a great job.
She got it on the spot. She's helped me. She's helped grow this AKA Sasquatch thing. I didn't think I'd be traveling around speaking and stuff like that, but she saw it, and she's a fellow believer as well, so she's been she does all my videos and all that kind of stuff. So she's a great asset. She keeps us all in line.
Nice.
Okay, apparently there is a guy on a Bigfoot Harley rider I was thinking about is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We had him on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I seen him somewhere online.
We had him on.
Yeah,
we did, didn't we? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I'm losing it, Dave.
You're losing your mind.
I'm losing my mind. Oh my God. I feel like
that has a lot to do with age.
You think so? It has to do with age, but the modern world is moving so quick.
That's no lie right there.
And it allows you to meet so many more people, like more people than we're even capable of remembering.
Right.
I meet new people every week and I love it, but sometimes it can be a little hard to keep people.
Yeah, that's why I run to the woods.
Yeah, exactly. I need some woods time.
I can get my head clear, talk to my God. And
why do you think the woods are so healing to people? What's your thoughts on that? Because they are.
All I can do is speak in my personal experience. I don't have the hustle and bustle. I don't have to answer a phone. I don't have to talk to a customer. I don't have to, and I don't use this I'm not saying this in a bad terms. I don't have to witness to anybody, so because, we see Jesus in the scriptures that would go to a solitary place and pray. And most Christians ain't figured that out yet. But there's nothing more beautiful to me than to just sit out in the woods, prop up against a tree, and just kind of just close your mind, empty your mind of everything. Listen to the wind blowing, listen to the birds, the crickets and whatnot. Just shut everything down, and just listen, and God will speak to you in that little small voice.
Why do you think the woods are magical? I mean, there's so much energy in the woods.
Yeah.
And they're just now talking about how even 5 minutes in the woods affects your health for like 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Really?
It's 5 minutes in the forest.
3 things you taught me tonight.
What?
Yeah, I would say, I was 2 weeks ago. I was up north for a week, and man,
It's
I just
healing.
came back feeling so good.
It's healing.
You're in sync with.
I just think there's a lot more power in the woods that we don't even know or understand yet. I think there's
we don't know
a lot more energy that we need.
There is. Trees have energy. We all have energy, and that's another thing that I think maybe the Bigfoots tag people, because even humans give off energy. Even humans have auras and whatnot. Are they picking up on that particular energy that one human is putting out, or is it a particular aura that they're seeing?
It could be that simple, couldn't it? Yeah. It could be that simple. Have you ever been? I'm sure we've all done it. You're walking in the hardware store, whatever, you're not thinking about anybody, and a guy will walk by you and you go, "Ooh, I got bad vibes from that person."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they did something really bad or something. You just know it. not even based on their looks, just on some aura around them.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's kind of like that, only maybe they're more sensitive to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, that's one of the gifts of the spirits is, you know, having that, being able to discern spirits. You know, there's a lot of people walking around here that have had demon spirits to kind of get in the supernatural a little bit, they've opened the door for, you know, demonic entities to either oppress them or to even control them. You know, read some of these things, whacked out things on, you know, TV and whatnot. You know, read a story today about a 21-year-old man kidnapped a 10-year-old girl, you know, and did what he did, then cut her up and stuffed her in the in a cubby way in his house, you know. And when the smell, you know, they finally caught up with him and arrested him. He got arrested for it, but that's nothing but demonic right there.
Yeah,
nothing but demonic. You know, people. There is a good and evil, and both
for sure
and evil have powers. And you know, it's like that lady I saw go up the wall. You know, that was pure evil. That wasn't God doing that.
Yeah.
But I had enough sense about me to exit stage left. But you can pick on people that are, you know, have a real negative vibe about them, so to speak.
Do you feel that the mystery though will be just like solved ever, or do you not want it to be solved, or do you think the mystery is going to stay? Is like, I know it's healthy for people to be curious about things we don't understand. That I do know. But are you one of the people that, like, if it ever completely is solved, will ruin your day, or will you feel like that's a great thing?
Well, I can see it in a positive light and a negative light.
Both.
You know, it's going to wreck the timber industry per se, because a lot of people are going to cry out for, you know, protection of these species, and that's going to rock USA for sure. But if it comes out, I'm cool with that. If it doesn't, you know, I'm good with that as well.
Now's a good time. If anybody has any questions before we wrap up here, go ahead and put them in caps. I know somebody asked you if you could describe a little more on their face, you know, because you've got some good looks at these things. Do they all look different, like people?
They're kind of like people. You know, I believe there's like different, how would I put it? Different races, so to speak, of these critters. You know, some I've seen with the protruding mouth, you know, with the flat nose, a little bit. I wouldn't say ape, but I wouldn't say some of their mannerisms as well are just like humans. I mean, facial features. You know, I've had them smile at me. Now, I don't know if that's a threat.
Yeah.
It's not, but you know, that first one, you know, clicking his teeth at me, you know, that was scary to me, you know, and I've never forgot that sound. But I know there's good and bad. Some have long hair, some of them have age on them. Some I've seen black eyes, you know, with no white around the eyes. But then again, I've seen some with a little bit of white in their eyes. You know, when they stare at you, it's like a cold stare. You know, it gives you the heebie-jeebies, so to speak. But, you know, they're just like people. We all three are humans, and we don't look nothing alike.
Yeah.
But you know, we do have characteristics that are alike.
What about the eyes? Do their eye, the actual eye, is it all dark? Is it got whites? Is it?
Well, some of them have. I've seen some with white, but I've seen some that just look totally black.
Whoa.
I've only seen one blue-eyed one. just one, an encounter that I had here in Arkansas. That was pretty tight. But you know, most of them have darkish eyes, like dark brown. You know, I haven't gone up and say, "Hey, let me look in your eyes." But,
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
have you ever heard one laugh?
You know, I heard it sounded like a bunch of women in the woods. But it wasn't English. It sounded like a bunch of women, and you could hear laughter within that. It sounds like they were down there being busy. So I guess the females, you know, talk about like the females that we have around here. I mean, human species. But I mean, that's the only time I could say possibly I heard them laugh.
Okay.
You know, usually it's just talking back and forth to each other.
Somebody asked if you've ever smelled them, either that odor they put out, that putrid, or ever just smelt their natural scent.
Most of the ones, not all of them have smells. Now, I was talking to a researcher the other day, and especially was talking about skunk ape. You know, do they always smell that all the time, or is that something in their system like a skunk that would put off in times? Because like a skunk, when it sprays, that's a defense mechanism within their body to ward off people. So we had a real interesting discussion of that. Some of them, the main ones I've smelled like real musky, real heavy urine type smell. It's kind of like if you ever smelled an elk. If you ever smelled a bull elk in the rut, you'll never forget the Bigfoot smell, because it's sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's so strong that it'll make you like, you know, your gag reflex would be like, ooh. I mean, some of them are pretty rank, but not all of them. Not all of them. It's like the ones that I seen down in New Mexico. You know, I never smelt that rascal. Of course, he didn't stay. I don't know how long he was standing there, because I couldn't see him. He must have been behind a tree, but I never smelt that one. Now, the ones that I've seen around locally, some of them have that smell. Some of them don't have that smell. Some of them, it's like, oh, God. You know, sometimes you smell them before you see them.
Have you smelt that horrible stink?
Oh, yeah.
That almost like rotten flesh or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. With a hint of wet dog and urine.
Kenny has asked, could you have ever mistaken like teeth chatter for rock clacking? Or have you heard rock? I mean, when you saw when the teeth were clacking, you witnessed it with your eyes too,
I
didn't you?
witnessed that one with his teeth chattering like that. Now, I've heard rock clacks in the woods, but the only chatters that I've seen was that first one, and a couple more after that were clicking their teeth real fast, and I witnessed that eye to eye. But I have experienced the rock clacking as well. I've used that a few times. You know, if they hit a tree, I'll hit a tree. If they clack rocks, I'll clack rocks, you know, to communicate with them, just see what's going on. These things don't scare me. Now, I'm sure there's be some situations that I'll be afraid, but I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I kind of push the envelope a little bit.
Remember, this is the guy that hunts hogs with knives. Nice. I thought I was really tough.
No,
No.
when I was a kid, I was probably 18 years old, and I'd set up some corn in one area, climbed a tree, just proved to my dad that I could. And there was some deer that come in. I jumped on a doe on her back, ripped her throat, and then gutted her out and took her home, just to prove Dad I could do it.
What about, have you seen tree structures or any kind of formations?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, small ones, big ones. I found one in my new research area that's real interesting. I can have Kay send you a video on it if you'd like. because we photographed it and videoed it. It's starting to disintegrate. When I first seen it, it was pretty sharp, and it was kind of like the TP type.
Okay.
You know? And I had one area down there that I hunt. There was a lot of arcs and a lot of tree breaks in this one area, and I got this real bad uneasy feeling in there. And I stopped. I was on my four-wheeler, and I stopped, started observing, and I pulled out my my iPhone, started videoing and stuff. Looked down at I pulled out my compass. My compass was going all kind of crazy. So I don't know if there was a magnetic field in that place or not. And the second time I went back in there to find that place, I know about the area it is, but the second time I went down in there, I was on my four-wheeler, I was by myself, and all of a sudden this feel of dread came over me. And it was just like, you know, I ended up stopping my four-wheeler and cutting it off and sitting there. I knew they were there. I didn't know where they was at.
So kind of like being zapped, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like being zapped. Yeah.
Where you just get
this. I knew this something. And finally I just said, okay. You know, I was going back there to find that place again and video it again and pull out another compass and see if it would do the same thing. So I ended up leaving. I said, okay, I'm leaving. So I just started my four-wheeler up, turned around, and headed right back out. You know, when these things get around, if you're around them a long time or like have a lot of encounters, your body will start telling you that these things are around. When they get around, I sense it. You know, either, you know, the hair on my arms will come up or on the back of my neck will come up, or, you know, I just know in my head.
Well, you know what happens to me, and this has happened so many times, and I've been right every time. My heart will start beating really quick, like it feels like I'm about to have a heart attack, and then there'll be a big bang or a bucket kick or, you know, something in camp, and it's like, dang it! It's like I could sense them before they came. Yeah, and it's usually for me, it's my heart starts beating quick. Mm-hmm. Which never happens in a normal part of my life.
Starts pumping real fast.
Yeah. It's like your chest is going to come out of your heart's going to come out of your chest.
Right. So I usually feel them before I see them.
Yeah.
If they're close. You know,
and
I walked right past one and didn't even know it. He was only 30 yards from me. You know, I kind of glanced over at it. I just thought it was a rock.
Oh, here's a good question. Somebody's asking about like mind speak or telepathy. Have you ever had any telepathic stuff?
You know, I think jury's still out on that one there. I haven't ever heard them talk, but yet on the other hand, you know, I know in my mind that one is close. But I don't hear nothing. Hey, you know, how you doing? You know, you need to back out of here, you know, or whatever. But I know in my mind that they're there. And then when I know in my mind that they're there, then my body starts reacting to that. So I don't, you know, I've heard, talked to people that's had mind speak, and I don't know if y'all have ever, y'all know Arla Williams up in Oklahoma?
No, I don't.
Oh, y'all need to get her on here.
Oh, I'd love to.
She mind speaks to them all the time.
Really?
She's got some fascinating stories. I'll have Kay send you her number.
Well, I'm planning. I still haven't done it, but I want to organize a bunch of people that have had that experience to get them all together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And see if we can get like 7-8 people on all at the same time that have had that kind of experience and have them.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, and have them share it. I better do it before somebody does it before me.
Yeah, because it's out there now.
It's out there now. Yeah,
you better get on it.
Well, could we ask Kay to book you again?
Sure.
Coming up and have you on again, Dave. We'd love to, because I know we can't cover everything tonight.
No.
I know you've even had a dogman experience, and
I've had 3 dogmans.
Oh yeah, we got to save that. We got to save that.
Then we'll boogie you up real quick.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
What?
I've had encounters And have now finally had, 2 really good visual encounters.
Really? Wow.
And they're very, very real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I've never seen the face. They've always had their back to me, or walking away from me, and it's like, dang it! It almost seems like a non-experience when you see them, when you don't get to see their face,
right?
Because that's kind of everything. Okay. Anyhow, we got to wind up.
Okay.
We're gonna stand by. We're just gonna do our wisdom of the week,
sure,
which I know you're gonna like, David. And we'll be right back. Just stand.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yep.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Freedom is rarely lost all at once. More often, it disappears a little at a time while good people are distracted, divided, or silent. So this week, remember, freedom survives only when ordinary people practice courage, responsibility, and respect, and are willing to defend the rights of others as fiercely as their own. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
Oh, I love that one. God bless America.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, no. Oh, we can talk about it next time you come on. I think that we had a great show. I think people loved.
Thanks, Dave.
You, David.
Man, I love being on here. I
Oh,
love
no.
sharing
Yeah,
my
dude.
experiences now. I wouldn't do it for a long time, because I knew the ridicule was gone.
Yeah.
It seems the most problems that I've had has not been ordinary people. It's been the church.
Yeah.
I've had the most problems out of. But in some of the places that I'm being able to go share at, God's given me a platform, but they've asked me to stay over the next day and do a service the next day and preach the next day. So that's how I got dubbed the Bigfoot Preacher. So it gives me not only a time to share my encounters and, get ideas from other people and stuff, because I'm always up for, tell me how you did it. What was your encounter? What's the tools you're using? How are you doing this? I want to continuously learn because I ain't got there yet. But
And Dave, would you be willing to say a prayer for Minxie, who lost her friend Melinda?
Yeah.
Yeah, for her family.
away
She
Friday.
passed away Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to close with some prayer then?
I would love it.
All right, guys. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, Father God. Lord, I just ask you, by the power of your Holy Spirit and the blood that ran down that tree, Father God. Lord, there may be people in here that don't know you as their Lord and Savior, Father God. I pray through this somehow, Father God, that seed had been planted, Father God, because I know this goes out on a lot of platforms. So, Lord, I just ask that you put your hand upon all those platforms, Father God. Let the seeds been sowed that brings people to you, Father God. But Lord, we have this friend on here, Father God, who lost their friend. Father God, the loss of somebody is devastating. It's just something that we know there's life. We know there's death. But Father, sometimes we get angry. Sometimes we doubt. We just can't make all the pieces go together. And Father, I just ask that, Father God, that you would send the power of the Holy Spirit, even while we're saying this prayer, to comfort this person, because you're the God of all comfort. Father, you say that you come to us and comfort us in all of our troubles that we go through, not only to comfort us, but also so we will comfort others. So, Father, I just ask you to give her peace in her heart, Father God. Lord, if there's any needs of anybody listening right now, they can just say them out loud, or they can think them in their mind, because you know everything. Father, I just ask you that you would grant them their needs, Father, whether it's a financial, Father God, or if it's a touch of healing, Father God, whether their spirit and their body and their soul, Father God. Lord, we just ask for our host here today, Father God, for allowing me to pray open on the air, Father God. Lord, I lift them up, Father God. Lord, Lord, ask that you touch, lead, guide, and direct them, Father God, because this is a big thing, Father God. And Lord, I just pray that more people would understand what we're trying to do here. And we give you all the glory and the thanks. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen.
Thank you.
You bet, guys.
Thank you, Dave. With that, we will be back next week, Sunday night at 7, and we're going to see you again, Dave.
Okay. I'll
Thank
tell
you.
Well, Carrie's
All
over here. She heard you.
Yeah, good. We'll
right.
be in touch then. All right. Thanks,
All right, guys.
Everyone, thanks
Good
for
night,
watching.
everybody.
All right. Peace out.
Call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I'll pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait if ever you should be in doubt, and